We live, chat. We live. Make sure we live. Let me get the voice call up. Make sure the tags together.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Oh, man. Double tap the screen, shut alive out. What we doing tonight, chat? What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap the screen, shut alive out, man. We got Trump meeting with Zelensky. They say it got a little heated. We got all the world leaders at the White House, and we got Gavin Newsom going off, man. Double tap the screen, shut alive out. Call your auntie, uncle, and your cousin. Tell them plug live, and he running his mouth, man. I don't care if you far left, far right, liberal, conservative, up, down, straight, right, straight up and down the middle. I don't care if you don't even like me tonight. Get your ass in here. We finna talk about it. We got the phone lines open, man. They saying this is a once in a lifetime meeting. They're saying this is a once in a lifetime meeting, man. They said nothing like this has ever been done before. We know Trump's making that push for that Nobel Peace Prize. I got it down in the poll. Y'all let me know. Does Trump deserve the Nobel Peace Prize? Yes or no? What's up with it, Steve? What's up, OGO, Sammy, Corey, World, Big Niche? What it do, girl? Who else we got in here? Leo, what's up with it, man? We finna get straight into it, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. We in intro mode, baby. Where that baby go at?
I told my niggas to mark my word, I guarantee that I'm next. I got the arms of a bodybuilder from the way that I flex. Might just hit the strip just to go blow me a check. They know what the fuck I'm on. They say that they got some of the best gas, they call it Southern Georgia. Chain on chain and ice on ice like Adam Sandler, I'm water boy. I know I'm all in the head. Bad bitch laying in my bed. Wait till I give her a spread. I'm a master with the head. Don't let these social fool you, these niggas broke. I know that they ain't bought it. Ain't got no car but talking shit. Okay, then little walkie talkie. I told that bitch to come home. I ain't got time for no bitch that's healing. Talk to blood, she called me daddy. And I'm screaming out no dick. I'ma make sure that she come. I'ma fuck her good with my tongue. I know the night is still young. So baby, let's get it in. I know just how she like it tonight. She spicy, she added a friend. They ain't identical, but they fuck alike. So in the bed, I call them twin. I call them twin. Bed, I call them twin. Bitch, and shoot a shoot. 1 + 1 = 2. What you tryna do? Go back for back, check a swoop for swoop. Either way it go, I'm on. Either way it go, I'm gone. Brody them just got like 100 on me, they tryna get them gone. What you call it, Jet Wet? What's the name? And he put it in his song. Brody them got the purest powder, it's pink, you know this shit is strong. No diddy. I'm the type of nigga that turn my bitch up in each city. Brody cut out, we celebrating, we hit the gritty. I'm feeling like a baby, I'm tryna get that milk up out them titties. It's no question who young and the latest. If you want your bitch, then when she talking, hear her. If I want the bitch, I'm going Pittsburgh. Still her. I keep some on the side, I don't have trust in just the main bitch. Suck me up while I'm driving like damn, I'll die by this lane switch. Shit, different type of free, so we ain't never got a tussle. Throw it back like Miss London, and sum me up like be hustle.
Oh, man. Double tap the screen, shut alive out, man. Y'all see the sub counter up there. We 25 subs away from the next sub goal. Leo, what it do, man? We got a action-packed episode tonight, chat. We got an action-packed episode tonight. They saying that nothing like this has been done before. We got prime ministers and presidents from everywhere. We got Zelensky stepping in the army fatigue still, man. We got a lot going on. We're going to see how Trump held the meeting. We already got reports coming out that Trump got on the phone with Putin immediately after this meeting. Trump got on the phone with Putin immediately after this meeting. We got Gavin Newsom dropping some AI photos. We got Gavin Newsom dropping some AI photos, man. Am I lagging, chat? Am I lagging? Am I lagging? What the hell is going on? Press 1 if I'm lagging, chat. Press 2 if I'm not lagging. And my OBS is making it look like I'm lagging. The hell is going on? But yeah, so they said that Trump got on the phone with Putin immediately after the meeting, so we're gonna see what's going on. I'm excited to see it. I don't know if Caroline did a press conference yet, but I told y'all I want to see Caroline's press conference. I do need to get me a cup though, chat. I need a cup because I got something to drink right here, but I don't have a cup. But we'll get to the cup in a minute, man. How are y'all feeling about the meeting? Has anybody in here watched the meeting yet? Press 1 if you've already seen this meeting. Press 2 if you have not seen the meeting. I want to know how y'all feel about it. Do you think it's good that all of these world leaders showed up for the White House? They said that it sounds like to me like Trump said he's looking forward to having a meeting with everybody sitting down. So it's looked like Zelensky's ready to sit down with Putin. We got to figure out where this sit down is going to go. Let's get into the video, chat.
Solid meeting, good. Well, thank you very much. It's a great honor to have you here. Special place, White House is special no matter where you're from. Represents so much, and it really is beautiful. And thank you for all of the wonderful things that took place today. We've had a very successful day thus far. Important discussions as we work to end the killing and stop the war in Ukraine. We're all working for the same goal. Very simple goal. We want to stop the killing, get this settled.
So did Trump get everybody over here for this meeting, chat, or did everybody show up for Zelensky? Because, you know, depending on how you look at the meeting, not just us looking at it, but depending on how they look at it, could set the tone for the meeting. Are they showing up because Trump want them there, or are they showing up in support of Zelensky? Like, hey, look, Zelensky got this going, and we here with him to show y'all that, look, we riding a dime, man. You said the Ukraine flag is like a plain bag of Lays. That's crazy. Double tap the screen, shut the live out.
Honor of being with President Zelensky and all of the discussions.
So that's what I'm basically asking. Do y'all think they showed up for Trump or they showed up for Zelensky? Put Trump or Zelensky in the chat. Do y'all think that these leaders from the EU, are they showing up because Trump called, or are they showing up to support Zelensky? Put Trump or Zelensky in the chat, man.
Questions that we've had, we've covered a lot of territory, and I spoke indirectly with President Putin today. We're going to call President Putin right after this meeting. I'm sure we're going to have a solid meeting, good meeting, maybe a great meeting, and we're going to try and work out a trilat after that and see if we can get it finished, put this to sleep, because this is not since the Second World War has there been anything like this. So I'm honored to welcome NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, who's a great gentleman, great political leader in Europe generally, but now he's the NATO Secretary General, and you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Mark. Prime Minister Starmer of the United Kingdom, our friend and my friend, and doing really well. And people like him a lot. We all like him. Everyone knows.
How do y'all feel about Starmer, man? Press 1 in the chat if y'all like Starmer. Press 2 in the chat if you don't really care for Starmer, man. Let me know what's y'all favorite kind of chips out there, chat? Let me know what y'all favorite brand of chips is. It plain Lays, barbecue Lays, Doritos, off-brand, Cool Ranch, is it Cheetos? You know, y'all let me know what y'all favorite kind of chips are.
President Macron of France, who's been with me from the beginning, one of the first people I met as a foreign dignitary, and I liked him from day one, and I like him even more now. That's pretty good. That's unusual. That's a pretty unusual thing. Prime Minister Meloni of Italy, who's a really great leader and an inspiration over there. She's served now, even though she's a very young person, she's served there for a long period of time relative to others. They don't last very long. You've lasted a long time. You're going to be there a long time. Chancellor Merz of Germany, who is a very strong person and a very strong leader.
Those off-brand Doritos do be extra cheesy. I like the sour cream and onion. I do like the salt and vinegar too. I'm not really fucking with the plain Lay's. Y'all double tap the screen. If you watching on your phone, you owe me a double tap because I guessed that you was watching on your phone. But also we are 25 subs away from the next sub goal. We go live every single night over here talking entertainment, politics, and current events. Come hang out with us, man. Pull up and hang out with us.
Leader and very highly respected in Germany. And he's my friend, and it's an honor to have him as my friend. Thank you very much. Very good. You look great with your tan. Where'd you get that tan?
Oh, let me get my cup.
I want to get a tan like that. President Stubb of Finland, and he's somebody that, where are we here? Huh? Oh, you look better than I've ever seen you look. But you've done a great job, and we wanted to have you here because you're somebody that we all respect, and you've had a lot to do with the success, I think, and the potential success, and thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. And the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, who is somebody that we just made a big deal with all of those countries. I don't know. I think you might be more powerful than all these guys at this table. I don't know. But we had a great negotiation, and you're respected all over the world. So I want to thank you very much for being here. It's a great honor to have you. The Alaska Summit reinforced my belief that while difficult, peace is within reach, and I believe that in a very significant step, President Putin agreed that Russia would accept security guarantees for Ukraine, and this is one of the key points that we need to consider, and we're going to be considering that at the table also, like who will do what, essentially. I'm optimistic that collectively we can reach an agreement that would deter any future aggression against Ukraine, and I actually think there won't be. I think that's even overrated, largely overrated, but we're going to find out, and I think that the European nations are going to take a lot of the burden. We're going to help them, and we're going to make it very secure.
Yeah, Trump saying the European nations going to take a lot of the burden. Like I said, man, he doesn't want America too much involved. He had them boost up their NATO contributions to 5%. So Trump's like, hey, man, y'all got it. We're here for support. Also, that's what Putin's going to want. Putin's not going to want America involved at all, as least as possible, if at all, if they're going to make this deal done. So Trump's going to push it to Putin like, hey, man, yeah, they boosted it up by up to 5%. They're spending 5% on the defense, but we're not involved. You know, we have the greatest and best military of all time. You've seen the B-2 fly over when you were in Alaska. You know that thing's about a couple $1 million every time it takes off. But you don't have to worry about those because I had them bring their spending up to 5%. It's a very good deal. Very good deal. That's what he's going to say.
We also need to discuss the possible exchanges of territory, taking into consideration the current line of contact. That means the war zone, the war lines that are pretty obvious, very sad actually to look at them. And negotiating positions. President Putin, also you have President of Ukraine, who is, you just met a little while ago, and we're going to try and get a three-party meeting, maybe as soon as we can, and I have a feeling you and President Putin are going to work something out. Ultimately, this is a decision that can only be made by President Zelensky and by the...
Corey, it sounds good when you say it's the locals do know the land the best, but when it comes to a different type of warfare, like Trump said that we got some shit over here that the world not ready for, that they ain't even rolled out yet. Trump already said they got some shit over here that'll take some off the map, straight up. So, man, knowing the foreign soil is a little different when you talking about drones and shit. So we got drones that have entered warfare now. So drone warfare is a lot different, especially with the way Ukraine them using it and Russia.
Of Ukraine working also together in agreement with President Putin, and I just think that's very good thing.
Yeah, they done had drones.
So I hope we have a good meeting, and if we can have a good meeting, I'll set up a meeting with President Putin, and if you'd like, I'll go to that meeting, and Not that I want to do that, but I will do that.
What you talking about on the live stream, Lala? What I do on the live stream? What, I scratch my nose? I didn't pick my nose, y'all. I scratched it.
Because we want to save a lot of people from dying. A lot of people are dying, and we got to save them. We got to save it. 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people sometimes a week. All of us would obviously prefer an immediate ceasefire while we work on a lasting peace, and maybe something like that could happen. As of this moment, it's not happening, but President Zelensky and President Putin can talk a little bit more about that. You know, in the 6 or so wars that we stopped, we haven't had a ceasefire, and so I don't know that it's necessary. You can do it through the war, but it would be, I like the ceasefire from another standpoint. You immediately stop the killing. But I believe a peace agreement at the end of all of this is something that's very attainable, and it can be done in the near future. With all of the wars that I got involved in, we only have this one left. Of course, as I walk out the door, there'll probably be a new one starting, and I'll get that stopped too. But I thought this was going to be one of the easier ones. It's actually one of the most difficult. They're very complex. The next step would be for a trilateral meeting, and that will be worked out. And I just look forward to working and having a great result. We're going to spend a lot of time today talking about, and we're really honored you guys came over. I mean, these are the heads of major countries, and respected all over Europe. And they speak for, largely, I think I should say, but pretty much for the other countries of Europe. And we will come to a resolution today, I think, on almost everything, including probably the security. And that's pretty much the story. I'd like to say, Mr. President, would you like to say something? You have the media. If you want, you could come over and you could stand, you could use mine, or you could just turn around, whichever you feel comfortable with.
I can speak without microphone. Thank you so much. I think that we had a very good conversation with President Trump.
Very good.
And it really was the best one. Maybe the best one will be in the future. But it was really good. And we spoke about very sensitive points. The first one is security guarantees. And we are very happy with President that all the leaders are here, and the security in Ukraine depends on the United States and on you and on those leaders who are with us in our hearts. They have been online before yesterday, etc. So a lot of countries.
Oh, Zelensky got a little blazer jacket on, don't he? That's a little blazer jacket, Chad. Zelensky put the little blazer on this time.
Side of Ukraine, our people, and all of us want to finish this war, stop Russia and stop this war. We spoke about it, and we will speak more about security guarantees. This is very important that the United States.
What's up, Flo? Everybody in here, I want to know, man, do y'all think this war will end in 2025? Put yes in the chat if you think the war will end in 2025. Put no in the chat if you do not think the war will end in 2025. We are 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal, so if you could, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching on your phone, you owe me a double tap, because I guessed that you was watching on your phone and not the TV.
Gives such strong signal and is ready for security guarantees. The second point, or maybe the first,
what it do, Stein?
Direction, very important to share.
Thank you, Lala, for the 10 hearts.
President will help, and I was.
Thank you, Lala.
To your wife again, Mr. President, for the letter about our.
Thank you, Lala, for the donations. Y'all get Lala some flames in the chat for those floating hearts. Get Lala some flames in the chat for the floating hearts, man. You do get more bang for your buck when you donate the gifts instead of the super chats and memberships. We do have memberships available. Double tap the screen, shut the live out. We 21 subs away from the next sub goal. Hold on, Lala.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Straight up. Thank you, Lala.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Straight up, man. Y'all double tap the screen and shut the live out, man. Let's get back into the clip.
Children, and I hope that really it can be historical for the people to bring kids back to the families and be happy.
Get the people back, yeah.
Yes, this is so important, and I'm happy that we discussed it, this track with the President Trump, and I hope that we will find decisions And then what is very important that all the sensitive things, territorial, etc., we will discuss on the level of leaders during trilateral meeting, and President Trump will try to organize such meeting, and he said that he will come or not come.
Auto War, what it do? Where do y'all think they should have this meeting, this trilateral meeting, chat, between Putin, Trump, and Zelensky? Where should they have this trilateral meeting? Should this meeting happen on U.S. soil? Is the White House, like for Trump and for America, is the White House the best place to have this meeting? Now remember, Putin can't go to certain countries or he will be arrested for war crimes. Quote unquote, kidnapping children is what they're saying he's doing. Zelensky is also wanted for war crimes, I believe. I know Putin wants Zelensky bad. I don't know if any other countries want him, but we know Putin wants him bad. So where do y'all think they should have this meeting?
Ukraine will be happy if you will
both want me
participate.
there, I will be there.
Yeah, thank you. And I think this is very important. Yes, so security guarantees, bringing kids back, and all our people, not only warriors, first of all warriors, and all the...
Oh, y'all think it's going to be on the phone? Yeah, that sounds about right. It probably will be on the phone.
Civilians, journalists, a lot of people in prison, so we need them back. And guarantees which will work for the...
Well, Trump was talking about a location, trying to figure out a location for it, so it might not be on the phone because Trump was talking about getting the location details together for the trilateral meeting, so it might not be on the phone. It does sound better, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, it'll probably be on the phone, but when I seen after this went on, Trump was like, the call was really good, looking forward to a possible trilateral meeting, we're just trying to work the location details out. So they are looking for a location. Y'all double tap the screen, shut a live out for me. We 10 subs away from the next sub goal. 10 subs away.
Yes, we spoke about it, and I showed the president a lot of details on the battlefield, on the map. Thank you so much. Thank you for the map, by the way.
Good map.
It was great. I'm thinking how to take it back.
We'll get you.
No. I think that we had constructive, specific meeting, and I'm very thankful to all the leaders who are here, and you helped a lot.
I would say it would have to be in America. I believe Putin came last time. Putin, no Diddy, no Epstein, no Drewski. Last time Putin came before Alaska was 2015. Putin, USA, 2015, and I think he came to the White House, I believe. He spoke at the UN General Assembly. No, he did not visit the White House. Where did he go? September on the sideline. Oh, in New York. So Putin came to New York and he's came to Alaska. New York and Alaska are the two places Putin has been.
And so we're happy that we have such big unity today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much,
Mr.
President. I think you'll see that President Putin really would like to do something else. I think when we set that up, when we do, I think it's going to be when, not if. I think you're going to see some really positive moves. I know there's over 1,000 prisoners, and I know they're going to release them. Maybe they're going to release them very soon, like immediately, which I think is great. But we're going to set that up today after this meeting. So very good and great remarks. I appreciate it. Mark, as head of NATO, maybe you could say a few words, please?
Yes, I will be very brief. I really want to thank you, President of the United States, dear Donald, for the fact that you, as I said before, broke the deadlock, basically with President Putin by starting that dialogue. And I think it was in February that you had the first phone call, and from there we are now where we are today. And that is, I think, if we play this well, we could end this. And we have to end this. We have to stop the killing. We have to stop the destruction of Ukraine's infrastructure. It is a terrible war. So I'm really excited.
Oh, why is Zelensky so determined to meet with Putin? It's a power thing. These are world leaders. His country's at war. It's a respect thing. Like, you know that Putin wants Zelensky. Zelensky wants Putin. So when they, basically Putin is trying to make deals. You know what I'm saying? All of this is about ending the war. Zelensky's on some shit like, there is no deal without Ukraine at the table. I am the president of Ukraine. I should be at that table. Why is the leader of America and the leader of Russia determining the fate of my country when I'm the leader? That's why he's so determined to meet with Putin. It's not that he just wants to meet with Putin and have coffee or nothing. No, he wants the deal to every negotiation, you know what I'm saying, to end this war or a ceasefire. He wants to make sure Ukraine is well represented, and he's the face, well, the head of Ukraine. He's the president. So he's like, shit, it makes their country look rather weak when all of these negotiations are going on and they're not there. It's like, okay, does their country have a voice or does it not have a voice?
And let's make the best out of today and make sure that from today onwards we get this thing to an end as soon as possible. I really want to thank you for your leadership, what you are doing for Vladimir, but of course also all the European colleagues. It is really crucial. And the fact that you have said, I'm willing to participate in the security guarantees is a big step. It's really a breakthrough, and it makes all the difference. So also thank you for that.
Well, NATO also has agreed from 2% to 5%, which is something that is a massive amount of money, and it's 2% that wasn't always.
Oh yeah, can y'all please double tap the screen for me? It really helps out a lot, man. Auto War says we need like 68 likes to get to 100. I know we haven't been live long, but let's get to 100 likes right quick, man. If y'all, this your first time in my live stream, if you press the number 2, I'll give you a shout out, personalized shout out.
It's paid to 5% that is paid. That's a big difference, and so we appreciate that. That was a great move. Thank you very much. Ursula, maybe on behalf of the Commission, you could say a couple of words.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a very important.
Thank you for the 10 jewels, Big Niche. Y'all get Big Niche some flames for that 10 jewels. Thank you, Big Niche, for your continued support. What's up, CC?
Indeed, we are here, Europeans, as friends and allies. We had a fantastic NATO summit. Together as the two largest and biggest economies in the world, we had the largest trade deal ever.
Right.
Agreed. And now we are here.
Cindy, welcome in. It's your first time. I hope you're having a good time. Sasisi, I hope you're having a good time on your first time in here, man. I hope y'all are having a good time and a great time. Carlos, you are lying, but I hope you're having a good time as well, Carlos.
To work together with you on a just and lasting peace for Ukraine. Stop the killing. This is really our common interest. Stop the killing. And indeed, it's very good to hear that we're working on the security guarantees, Article 5 lies security guarantees. So important. But I want to thank you also that you mentioned the thousands of Ukrainian children that have been abducted. And as a mother and grandmother,
So see what she's saying? She's saying, she's basically co-signing what Putin's wanting for these war crimes for. She's saying thousands of Ukrainian children are being kidnapped. That is grounds for them to say Putin's committing crimes against humanity, war crimes. Kidnap, quote, I don't know. I'm not saying that they're not being kidnapped. I'm saying that I'm not boots on the ground and not a lot is coming out about this. Some people say that they were already from that country or whatever. I don't know. I'm saying that that's what they're saying Putin's doing, kidnapping thousands of Ukrainian children. They're trying to get his ass for war crimes. That's why he can't go to all of these different places to have this meeting. There are very specific places that if he touches down, he will be arrested on site. And that's what she's speaking to.
Single child has to go back to its family. This should be one of our main priorities also in these negotiations, to make sure that the children come back to Ukraine, to their families.
Thank you, and we did. I was just thinking we're here for a different reason, but we just a couple of weeks ago made the largest trade deal in history. So that's a big thing, and congratulations. That's great. Thank you very much, Ursula. Mr. Chancellor from Germany, very.
If y'all notice, Trump said nothing about the children being stolen. You hear? He kind of responded to a lot of shit, but that's very, he's trying to get a peace deal done. If he bites that bone right there that she threw out for him, the deal could be done. If he acknowledges it and says, oh yeah, these Ukrainian children are being stolen and they do need to be returned, that could potentially ruin the deal. So I'm finna play it back. I'm gonna let y'all hear what she said about the Ukrainian children being stolen, and I'm gonna watch how Trump just move on to the next person. You don't say shit. You don't say too much of shit. Watch.
And now we are here.
Makes all the difference. So also thank you for that.
Well, NATO also has agreed from 2% to 5%, which is something.
Watch what this woman
says.
say.
Massive amount of money, and it's 2% that wasn't always paid to 5% that is paid. That's a big difference, and so we appreciate that. That was a great move. Thank you very much. Ursula, maybe on behalf of the Commission, you could say a couple of words.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a very important moment. Indeed, we are here, Europeans, as friends and allies. We had a fantastic NATO summit. Together as the two largest and biggest economies in the world, we had the largest trade deal ever agreed. And now we are here to work together with you on a just and lasting peace for Ukraine. Stop the killing. This is really our common interest. Stop the killing. And indeed, it's very good to hear that we're working on the security guarantees. Article 5 lies security guarantees, so important. But I want to thank you also that you mentioned the thousands of Ukrainian children that have been abducted. And as a mother and grandmother, every single child has to go back to its family.
So Trump did say something about the thousands of kids being abducted. I never heard him say that. If he did, somebody send me the clip. Maybe I missed it.
This should be one of our main priorities also in these negotiations, to make sure that the children come back to Ukraine, to their families.
Thank you, and we did. I was just thinking we're here for a different reason, but we just a couple of weeks ago made the largest trade deal in history. So that's a big thing, and congratulations. That's great. Thank you very much, Ursula. Mr. Chancellor from Germany, a very great leader.
Mr. President, dear Donald, many thanks for having us today. I think this is extremely helpful that we are meeting and hearing that the two of you are having such a good meeting today here in Washington. The next steps ahead are the more complicated ones now. The path is open. You opened it last Friday. But now...
Said let's bring Biden up on trafficking charges. What did Biden traffic? I remember when they said something about that diary. I remember they said something about a diary. It's crazy how... Don't y'all find it crazy how Biden's daughter's diary supposedly was left behind at the old house? Then his son's laptop ends up at a random damn laptop shop. You know what I'm saying? I mean, well... He was getting high at the time, so that's not too far-fetched. But still, that's crazy, though. It's like y'all had as sensitive-ass information, and it just always stumbles up upon just somebody's fucking hand. It's crazy.
Ways open for complicated negotiations. And to be honest, we all would like to see a ceasefire, the latest from the next meeting on. I can't imagine that the next meeting would take place without a ceasefire. So let's work on that, and let's try to put pressure on Russia, because the credibility of these efforts we are undertaking today are depending on at least a ceasefire from the beginning of the serious negotiations from next step on. So I would like to emphasize this aspect and would like to see a ceasefire from the next meeting, which should be a trilateral meeting wherever it takes place.
Well, we're going to let the president go over and talk to the president, and we'll see how that works out, and if we can do that. I will say, and again I say it, in the 6 wars that I've settled, I haven't had a ceasefire. We just got in.
We're going to let the president go over and talk to the president. It sounds like shit. Sound like he might be talking about going to Moscow.
Negotiations, and one of the wars was, as you know, in the Congo was 31 years long. Another one that we settled last week with 2 great countries was 35 years going on, and we had no ceasefire. So if we can do the ceasefire, great. And if we don't do a ceasefire, because many other points were given to us, many points were given to us, great points. Please, Georgia, go ahead.
Well, thank you very much, Donald, Mr. President, for hosting us today in this important meeting. And I think it is an important day, a new phase. After 3 years and a half that we didn't see any kind of sign from the Russian side that there was a willing for dialogue. So something is changing, something has changed, thanks to you. Thanks also to the stalling in the battlefield, which was achieved with the bravery of Ukrainians and with the unity that we all provided to Ukraine. And the reason why I mention it is that we also have to remind that if we want to reach peace and if we want to guarantee justice, we have to do it united.
My bad, Chad. I didn't mean to cut it back right there, but did she say Starlink?
Also have to remind that if we want to reach peace and if we want to guarantee justice, we have to do.
Did she say something about it thanks to the Starlink? What did she say thanks to?
It united. So that's why it's a very good day, the one we are in. You can obviously count on Italy as it was from the beginning. We are on the side of Ukraine and we do absolutely support your efforts towards peace. We will talk about many important topics. The first one is security guarantees, how to be sure that it won't happen again, which is the precondition of every kind of peace. I'm happy that we will discuss about that. I'm happy that we will begin from a proposal, which is the, let's say, Article 5 model, which was Italian at the beginning. So we are always ready to bring our proposals for peace, for dialogue. It's something we have to build together to guarantee peace and to defend the security of our nation. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you for the subscription, Shiny Corn. Thank you for the subscription, Shiny Corn. Y'all double tap the screen, shut the live out. We are 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. We do go live every single night over here talking politics, entertainment, and current events, man. And if you are watching on your phone, I guess correctly, you got to double tap the screen for me. You said yes, Starlink is the internet lifeline for Ukraine. Okay, yeah, that's Elon.
For hosting us.
Thank you very much. Emmanuel?
Thank you, Mr. President, for organizing this meeting and for your commitment. And everything was said, but I just have to say here, everybody around this table is in favor of peace. And we work very hard, and we've worked very hard during the past few years to have a peace which is a robust and long-standing peace. This is why the idea of a trilateral meeting is very important, because this is the only way to fix it. And by the way, I think as a follow-up, we would need probably a quadrilateral meeting, because when we speak about security guarantees, we speak about the whole security of the European continent. And this is why we are all united here with Ukraine on this matter. In order to organize such a trilateral meeting, your idea to ask for the truce or ceasefire, at least to stop the killings, as we discussed, is a necessity. And we all support this idea. And in order to have such a long-standing peace for Ukraine and for the whole continent, we do need the security guarantees. And the first one is clearly a credible Ukrainian army for the years and decades to come. And the second one is our own commitment, all of us. And we worked very hard during the past few months amongst the coalition of the willings, with the support of NATO, to build the different pillars of security guarantees and our commitments. And you can be sure that Europeans are very lucid about the fact that they have their fair share in these security guarantees for Ukraine, but their own security is clearly at stake in this situation. So you can count on us, as we can count on you, in order to deliver this robust peace for both Ukraine and Europe.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Mr. Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you for hosting us here. Can I start where Emmanuel started, which is we all want peace. The war in Ukraine has had a huge impact, particularly on the Ukrainians who bore the brunt of it, but it's also had an impact on Europe and on the United Kingdom. There's not a family or community that hasn't been affected. And when we talk about security, we're talking about security not just of Ukraine, we're talking about the security of Europe and the United Kingdom as well, which is why this is such an important issue. I think this is such an important meeting. as a group, I think we've had a discussion on the phone.
Thank you, Cypher, for the 2 jewels. Everybody double tap the screen, shut the live out. Thank you, Cypher, for the 2 jewels. Thank you for your continued support, Cypher.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Double tap the screen, shut the live out. We are 21 subscribers away from the next sub goal.
A number of times, Mr. President, but be able now to be around the table to take it forward. And I really feel that we can, I think, with the right approach this afternoon, make real progress, particularly on the security guarantees. And your indication of security guarantees, of some sort of Article 5 style guarantees, fits with what we've been doing with the Coalition Willing, which we started some months ago, bringing countries together and showing that we were prepared to step up to the plate when it came to security. With you coming alongside, the US alongside what we've already developed, I think we could take a really important step forward today, a historic step actually, that could come out of this meeting in terms of security for Ukraine and security in Europe. I also feel that we can make real progress towards a just and lasting outcome. Obviously that has to involve Ukraine, and a trilateral meeting seems the sensible next step, so thank you for being prepared to take that forward, because I think if we can ensure that that is the progress out of this meeting, both security guarantees and some sort of progress on trilateral meeting of some sort to bring some of the difficult issues to a head, then I think today will be seen as a very important day in recent years in relation to a conflict which has gone on for 3 and a bit years, and so far nobody's been able to bring it to this point, so I thank you for that.
Well, thank you very much. And, you know, it's very interesting because this is the first for the White House. You can't say that very often. It's seen a lot over the years, since 1800, 1799, to be almost exact. But this is the first where we've had so many prime ministers.
I do think this meeting is gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna come of the meeting, but I do think this meeting is gonna happen. I don't know the timeline of it. But yes, I believe Putin has agreed. I believe Zelensky and the EU, they've been wanting to sit down. So I do believe that this meeting is gonna happen, probably in the next month or so. I just don't know where. If all else fails, it'll be over the phone.
Presidents, the heads of European nations, and by the way, Alex, I'd like you to say a couple of words too. You're a young, powerful man. Before I finish up, I want you to say a couple of words. Go ahead.
I'll take the notion.
You said Nicole Collier being held on the Texas House floor. They won't let her leave. Damn, we have to look into that.
Back to my wife and try to convince her. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I think in the past 2 weeks we've probably had more progress in ending this war than we have in the past 3.5 years. And I think the fact that we're around this table today is very much symbolic in the sense that it's Team Europe and Team United States helping Ukraine. And the progress that we're looking out of this meeting is about the security guarantees, which are a big part of this. And then, of course, moving towards a process with a trilateral meeting with you and President Putin and President Zelensky. Some of the international media might wonder.
You say bluegill fishing? Yeah, we call them brim where I'm from. We call them brim. I like pond fishing better than lake fishing. You know, some people call it cheating, but I like pond fishing better. You know, especially with my kids, I like the pond fishing because, you know, it's all cleared out and shit. Last time I took my kids to a lake, snakes was out there, so we kind of got up out of there. But my kids are a little bit older now, but I do like pond fishing better. But yeah, bluegill fishing, we call them brim where I'm from. But yeah, I like it. Pan fishing, from home.
Why is the president of Finland here? I think the reason is probably that we might come from a small country, but we have a long border with Russia, over 800 miles. And we of course have our own historical experience with Russia from World War II, the winter war and the war of continuation. And if I look at the silver lining of where we stand right now, we found a solution in 1944, and I'm sure that we'll be able to find a solution in 2025 to end Russia's war of aggression and find and get a lasting and just peace. The situation is very difficult, but that's why we're here.
Thank you, Alex, very much. Good job. So we're going to be meeting for a while, and we're going to discuss some of the issues. And I don't think there's any issue that's overly complex. It's at a point now where people want to do things. I really do believe. I've known him for a long time. I've always had a great relationship with him. I think President Putin wants to find an answer too. And we'll see. And in a certain period of time, not very far from now, a week or 2 weeks, we're going to know whether or not.
Nah, Todd. I'm from Arkansas, Todd. We kill spiders with our hands, depending on how big it is. Now, I ain't gonna kill no tarantula or no crazy shit with my hand, but a little spider, a little medium size. You know what I'm saying? Get the motherfucker up out of there, man.
Of this, or is this horrible fighting going to continue? We'll do our best to get it ended. And I believe you have two willing parties, and usually that's good news, but two willing parties that want to make a deal. And we'll journey together, and we'll go over, and we'll see if it can be done. And it's possible it might not be able to be done. On the other hand, it's possible it will. It will save thousands and thousands of lives a week. And so it's something we really have to do. And or at least we have to give it our best. It's all you can do. You can give it your best. But I think we may have a very good outcome. So I want to thank you all, and the media, I want to thank you. We're going to be staying here for a little while. Then we're going to walk over to the Oval Office, and we're going to have another little discussion about similar matters. And then they're going to go home to their great countries and report. And I'm going to remain here and work, and you're going to go and work. We're all going to be working we may be in a different location, but that's what we know how to do is work. But I want to thank the media's been actually very fair, generally speaking, very fair. I think it's important that they're fair because this is a very important subject. We have to get it ended, and so that's all we ask for is fairness with the media. Thank you all very much.
Top Cat, what it do?
Thank you very much.
1 year and a half. So we need to stop this war, to stop Russia.
It don't get no louder, Chad. That's loud as it go.
And European partners. We will do our best for this. So, and I think we show that we are strong people, and we supported the idea of the United States, of personally of President Trump, to stop this war, to make a diplomatic way of finishing this war, and we are ready for Trilateral, as President said. This is a good signal about Trilateral. I think this is very good. Thank you.
Mr. President, yes, if the peace deal will be achieved, are you going to be willing to send American peacekeepers to Ukraine?
Well, we're going to work with Ukraine. We're going to work with everybody, and we're going to make sure that if there's peace, the peace is going to stay long term. This is very long term. We're not talking about a 2-year peace and then we end up in this mess again. We're going to make sure that everything's good. We'll work with Russia. We're going to work with Ukraine. And we're going to make sure it works. And I think if we can get to peace, it's going to work. I have no doubt about it.
Your team has talked about security guarantees. Could that involve U.S. troops? Would you roll that out in the future?
We'll let you know that maybe later today. We're meeting with 7 great leaders of great countries also. And we'll be talking about that. They'll all be involved, but there'll be a lot of help. When it comes to security, there's going to be a lot of help. It's going to be good. They are first line of defense because they're there. They're Europe, but we're going to help them out also. We'll be involved.
Are you going to get involved?
That the war will not end without addressing the root causes of this war. Have you had an understanding what are the root causes of this war?
Well, look, the war is going to end. When it ends, I can't tell you, but the war is going to end, and this gentleman wants it to end, and Vladimir Putin wants it to end. I think the whole world is tired of it, and we're going to get it ended. It was, I've done 6 wars. I've ended 6 wars, and I thought this maybe would be the easiest one, and it's not the easiest one. It's a tough one. A lot of reasons for it, and they'll be talking about it for a long time. But they'll be talking about the others. Look, India, Pakistan. We're talking about the big places. When you look at, you just take a look at some of these wars. You go to Africa and take a look at that. Rwanda and the Congo, Republic of the Congo. That's been going on for 31 years. And so we've done a total of 6, and we really have 6, not including the fact that we obliterated, and it turned out to be a total obliteration, the nuclear, as you said, the future nuclear capability of Iran. And this one, I think we're going to get solved also. I feel confident we're going to get it solved.
What's up, Misty?
Tell us about your conversations with European leaders and what they need to see to support an end to the war.
Yeah, well, we're going to be meeting with a great representative group and 7 very powerful, very big countries and great people, all friends of mine and friends of yours. And we're going to have some suggestions made. They want to see peace. They would like to see peace. In the red.
President Trump, do you think it's fair to, for Ukraine and for Russia to achieve a lasting and durable peace if Ukraine sees its territories that Russia hasn't yet conquered? Do you think it's a fair peace for Ukraine?
We're going to have a lasting peace. Just to answer the first part of your question, we're going to have a lasting peace. I hope it's going to be immediately. I hope it doesn't have to go on. And I think people in the whole world is going to be very happy when that's announced.
Mr. President, you posted on social media, Mr. President, a very touching letter from the First Lady. And the letter was hand-delivered to President Putin. And it calls for an end to the war, essentially, because of the children and the children's future. Why did the First Lady feel that letter was necessary? Was it because she believes that Mr. Putin is the aggressor in the war? Is a similar letter being hand-delivered to President Zelensky?
So the First Lady felt very strongly. She's watched the same thing that you watch and that I watch. I see things that you don't get to see, and it's horrible. But when she's got a great love of children, she has a wonderful son that she loves, probably more than anybody, including me. I hate to say it, but she loves her son. She loves children, and she hates to see something like this happening. And that goes for other wars too. I mean, she sees the heartbreak, the parents, the funerals that you see on television. Always funerals. We want to see something other than funerals. No, she felt. It was a beautiful letter. It was very well received by him. And she did ask me to say, she would love to see this end. She would love to see it end. And she says it very openly, very proudly, and with great sorrow because so many people have been killed.
Mr. President, last week,
Brian, go ahead, Brian.
Yes, sir. I've got a question for each of you. First of all, Mr. President Zelensky, you look fabulous in that suit.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, you look good.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, looks good.
I said to one that attacked you last night.
In it all black.
Yeah, I apologize to you. You look wonderful. No, my first question for you, President Zelensky.
In the same suit. You see, I changed, you are not.
Maybe yours is much better. Real quickly, upon peace, God willing we get peace, are you open to holding an election in your country?
Yes, of course. We are open for election, yes. We have to do safety circumstances. And a little bit, we need to work in the parliament, because during the war you can't have elections, but we can do security. We need, maybe, how to say, we need a truth, yes, everywhere, in the battlefield, in the sky, in the sea, yeah, to make possible for people to do democratic, open, legal elections.
So you say
we're
during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now, so you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections. Oh, that's good. I wonder what the fake
You like
news
this
is.
idea?
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of news, I got a question for you. This sounds insane for me even to ask this. But do you
What'd
think
he
the
say?
American media really doesn't even want a peace deal because they've seen they've been so critical of you every
Suit. You See, I changed, you are not.
Maybe yours is much better. Real quickly, upon peace, God willing we get peace, are you open to holding an election in your country?
Yes, of course. We are open for election, yes. We have to do safety circumstances. And a little bit, we need to work in the parliament, because during the war you can't have elections, but we can do security. We need, maybe, how to say, we need a truth, yes, everywhere, in the battlefield, in the sky, in the sea, yeah, to make possible for people to do democratic, open, legal elections.
So you say
we're ready.
during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now, so you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections. Oh, that's good. I wonder what the fake
You like
news
this
is.
idea?
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of news, I got a question for you. This sounds insane for me even to ask this, but do you think the American media really doesn't even want a peace deal because they've seen they've been so critical of you every step of the way as you lead the charge for peace?
It's an amazing phenomenon. I said that if in the settlement you got Moscow, St. Petersburg, and thousands of miles around them, they would say I made a bad deal. The level of hatred and animosity is incredible. Not with all. I mean, we have great people up here. We also have terrible people up there that I think are told what to say. But you know, in solving all of these wars, they don't even write about it. You know, I saw major wars. I saw wars that have been going on for 31, 35, and 37, and a couple of quicker ones. One that was going to go into a full-blown deal very quickly. You know what the one I'm talking about? It was a big one. But they don't even write about that. No matter what I do, no matter what, and you know, this is not anything to do with you. It's probably to your advantage in a certain way. But no matter what I do, no matter what deal I make, from my standpoint, you'll come out good. Maybe President Putin will come out good. But they'll say, Trump was absolutely horrible. It's just that, and I've lived with that for a long time. I've lived with it since just before the first election. I used to get great publicity. Now I get the worst publicity anyone's ever gotten in office, but I won in a landslide, so the people understand. They're the only ones that count, ultimately. But I've also had great reporters. I've had journalists that are very good. But it's very sad when you do the right thing. As an example, they said, because of the fact that Vladimir Putin came to American soil, this was a tremendous defeat for Donald Trump. No, it was really wonderful that he did it. It was a hard thing for him to do, to be honest with you. It was the opposite of what they said, but they said it. Now, if he didn't come, they'd say that was also bad for Trump. Yeah. There's no way. And there's just a great dishonesty of the press, and I think that's why it's lost its credibility. You know, its credibility is at an all-time low. We have a thing going on right now in D.C. We went from the most unsafe place anywhere to a place that now friends are calling me up, Democrats are calling me up, and they're saying, sir, I want to thank you. My wife and I went out to dinner last night for the first time in 4 years. And Washington, D.C. is safe. And you did that in 4 days. I'll tell you, it's safe. I had another friend of mine. He has a son who's a great golfer. He's on tour. And he came in 4th yesterday in the big tournament where Scotty Scheffler made the great shot. And he said his son is going to dinner in Washington, D.C. tonight. I said, would you have allowed that to happen a year ago? He said, no way. No way. He said, what you've done is incredible. And I think the people realize it. But the press says, he's a dictator. He's trying to take over. No, all I want is security for our people. But people that haven't gone out to dinner in Washington, D.C. in 2 years are going out to dinner. And the restaurants the last 2 days were busier than they've been in a long time.
Sir, I walked around yesterday with MTG. If you could walk around with DC with MTG.
Y'all think Trump lying, man? Press 1 if y'all think Trump lying. Press 2 if y'all don't think Trump lying. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. We are now 17 subscribers away from the next sub goal. We go live every single night over here talking politics, entertainment, and current events. Come rock out with me.
And not be attacked, the city is safe.
Yes.
of what you called severe consequences if a 30-day ceasefire or any type of ceasefire were not agreed to by Russia. Will there be severe consequences? Does that change because of
I don't
meeting
think
with
you need a
President
ceasefire. You know, if you look at the 6 deals that I settled this year, they were all at war. I didn't do any ceasefires. And I know that it might be good to have, but I can also understand strategically why, well, you know, one country or the other wouldn't want it. You have a ceasefire and they rebuild and rebuild and rebuild, and, you know, maybe they don't want that. But if you look at the 6 deals that we made peace and you know, long-term, long-running wars, I didn't do any ceasefires. Would I like the concept, you know, I like the concept of a ceasefire for one reason, because you'd stop killing people immediately, as opposed to in 2 weeks or 1 week or whatever it takes. But we can work a deal where we're working on a peace deal while they're fighting. They have to fight. I wish they could stop. I'd like them to stop. But strategically, that could be a disadvantage for one side or the other. But all of these deals I made without even the mention of the words ceasefire.
President Zelensky, are you explain the decision to offer Ukraine Article 5-like security guarantees, but stop short of pushing for their full membership?
Yeah, well, we haven't done anything on that yet. If you look back and you go back long before President Putin, it was always a statement that they would never allow Ukraine into NATO. So that was a statement that was made, but we haven't discussed any of that yet. We're going to be discussing it today. But we will give them very good protection, very good security. That's part of it. And the people that are waiting for us, they are, I think they're very like-minded. They want to help out all.
Thank you, President. Thank you, President Trump. The United States has already given hundreds of billions of dollars to this war effort in Ukraine. At best, it is a stalemate, and the killing continues. So, President Trump, how much more is the United States willing to give Ukraine? And President Zelensky, how much more do you want?
Well, I'll start off just by saying,
Hockey watching on 4,000. It is the taxpayers' money, so we do have a right to know. But he said, damn, Trump, how much you willing to give? Zelensky, how much do you want? These the questions that the people be wanting to know, man. I don't know who their reporter is. Hey, man, he got straight to business, didn't he? Hey, Trump, how much you willing to give? We already gave hundreds of billions, man. And Zelensky, how much do you want? Straight up, don't sugarcoat him. How much you want?
not giving anything now. We're selling weapons. This is something before, I guess the number is well over $300 billion. That was under Joe Biden, a corrupt politician, not a smart man. Never was. By the way, go back 40 years. He was not a smart man 40 years ago either. But now he's in particular bad. This was done by a corrupt administration that shouldn't have been in. And frankly, if the right results of the election were given, if I were president, this war would have never taken place. And he would have been very happy because he would have liked to have seen. I mean, they went through hell. He went through hell. This war would have never happened. And the people that were killed, couple of million people, a lot of people with soldiers and everything else, and the people that have been displaced and forced into other areas and other countries because of what's happened, none of that would have happened. And I'm just saying that he was a horrible president. Whether it was the borders or this, he was just a horrible, corrupt president.
I can. Thank you so much. So first of all, we have possibility now to buy weapons from the United States. We are thankful for this program and this opportunity. We are thankful for they pay for this. And through NATO program, for example, Pearl and etc., we have some programs where we can have some money to finance this. And this is a part, I think, is...
So basically, Zelensky just confirmed it. America selling the weapons for a damn good deal, a pretty penny. The EU got some initiatives over there to fund the weapons. So Europe is paying for it. America selling it to Ukraine, but Europe is funded.
It's not a part for the war and to defend us. It also will be a part for security guarantees, to strengthen our army, to rearm Ukrainian army. This is very, very important. And it depends how much money we need to rearm. For example, the question of air defense, we spoke about it with President Trump, and I'm happy that we have now.
Thank you, Big Niece, for the gift. Thank you, Big Niece, for the gift. Y'all give Big Niece some flames for that gift. Thank you, Big Niece.
So many air defense like Patriots, for example. We need it very much, and this is also about defending.
I think the good news, we make the best military equipment in the world by far. You mentioned the Patriots. How good are they?
Systems.
We have systems, they're literally 100% foolproof. And it's really like shooting two bullets, two bullets hitting each other in the air in a space like this. The chance is 100%. It's 99 to 100%. So we sell the equipment.
What's up, Terry?
NATO. And NATO does what, I don't know what the arrangement is that you have with, but I know that they want you to have the equipment. And we're getting the best equipment in the world, but they pay us for the equipment. Under Biden, it was just crazy what was going on. I believe the number is over 300. I think it could be $350 billion worth of equipment and money and everything else. And we've made more progress in settling this war in the last 2 months than they made in 4 years. This should have been settled a long time ago, but it should have never happened. Yeah, please.
Real quickly, you pushed out on social media.
All right, Brian, go first.
You pushed out on social media about doing away with mail-in ballots and potentially electronic voting machines. Can you expand on that and how important?
Well, that's a very off-topic. Just really quick.
Bro, you have the world leaders of 7 different countries. You have Zelensky in the active war. You have the Macron man, the President Macron, who Candace Owens has been going at his wife. You have Starmer up there. And you ask about some damn mail-in ballots, bro. Well, since he asked about it, chat, how do y'all feel about mail-in ballots? Are you for mail-in ballots or against it, man? Put forward or against it in the chat, man. Forward or against the mail-in ballots, man. Double tap the screen, shut a live out, man. We 15 subs away from the next sub goal.
Mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots.
Hey, listen, y'all see this? Y'all tell Wonders of the World good night. He said, I'm going to report you for wearing the white man hat. Well, I'm going to tell you like this, Wonders of the World. You have a good night. We just took your ass in. We'll see you on a new account, man. Good night, Wonders of the World. I hope you toss and turn all night in this motherfucker.
I'm going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt. And you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses it because of what's happened. Massive fraud all over the place. The other thing we want change are the machines. For all of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else. We would get secure elections. We'd get much faster results. The machines, I mean, they say we're going to have the results in 2 weeks. With paper ballots, you have the results that night. Most people, but most people, many countries use paper ballots.
Thank you,
it's
Cindy.
the most secure form. So between paper ballots, very, very important, paper ballots, and I think maybe even more important, the mail-in voting. We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. If you have mail-in vote, even Jimmy Carter with this commission, they set it up. He said the one thing about mail-in voting, you will never have an honest election if you have mail-in. And it's time that the Republicans get tough and stop it because the Democrats want it. It's the only way they can get elected. Because with men and women's sports and with transgender for everybody and open borders and all of the horrible things, and now the new thing is they love crime. They're fighting me on the fact that I've made Washington, D.C. safe. We're not going to get mugged, beaten up, or killed like all the people you've been watching get so badly hurt. I'm glad I hate to take your time with this, but I'm glad you asked me that question. We're going to stop mail-in ballots because it's corrupt. You know, when you go to a voting booth and you do it the right way, and you go to a state that runs it properly, you go in, they even ask me. They asked me for my license plate, for identify. I said, I don't know if I have it. They said, sir, you have to have it. I was very impressed, actually. But it's very hard to cheat with mail-in voting. As you know what happens in California, it's so...
Listen, A-Ho, you said this is old news. This was this morning. Well, I got a nighttime show. Hold my nuts. Matter of fact, it's plug after dark, so I'm finna get some regulation in this motherfucker. How about that? Price Casey, you say I've been rubbing my chin since 2003? No, I was born in 92. I've been rubbing a lot of shit since 92. How about that, man? How about that? Do you got a baby mama or something might try to rub on her, man? What is we trying to do in here tonight, Chad? Is tonight gonna be entertaining? Do y'all want me to entertain tonight? I can stop the damn show and just entertain the fuck out of y'all. I thought we was just kicking it. But we can have this kind of show. You can't out-troll me because I got the block button. That's the difference. I got the block button. I got the red little telephone on the Google Voice to hang it up. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. We can do it.
Corrupt.
Good to see you too,
Some people get 5, 6, 7 ballots delivered to them. Now, we got to stop mail-in voting, and the Republicans have to lead the charge. The Democrats want it because they have horrible policy. If you have mail-in voting, you're not going to have many Democrats get elected. That's bigger than anything having to do with redistricting, believe me. And the Republicans have to get smart. We're not going to have a country. I said for a long time at rallies, you need borders and you need free and fair elections. Those two things. Otherwise, you don't have. We have strong borders now. In 90 days, Mr. President, we didn't have 1, 0, 0, and 3 months. Not one person came in illegally into our country. In fact, even I find that hard to believe, but it's run by a little bit of a liberal group that put out the numbers, so I get...
Listen, a-hole. Chill out now.
But 0, 0, and 0. You go back a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 millions of people poured into our country. It was terrible. Thank you very much.
What security guarantees do you need from President Trump to be able to make a deal?
All right, see, a-hole, I let you come in my house and you disrespectful. I let you take your shoes off and get in here and get comfortable. You got too damn comfortable. So you not getting no plain lays. You're not getting no damn refreshments, no burgers, no snacks. You're not welcome in here no more. Y'all tell a-hole good night. He's going to pick up his thong flip-flops at the door, and he'll be walking down the street in case any one of you motherfuckers want to pick him up and give him a damn ride. Good night, a-hole. We'll see you on another account. How about that? A-hole.
American troops, intelligence, equipment. What is it?
Everything. And really, it includes 2 parts. First, strong Ukrainian army. That's what I began to discuss with your colleagues. And it's a lot about weapon and people and training issues and intelligence. And second, we will discuss with our partners. It depends on the big countries, on the United States, on a lot of our friends.
And Mr. President, are you willing to commit American troops to that NATO-like protection in order to get President Zelensky to a deal today?
Well, I don't know if you define it that way, but NATO-like, I mean, we have people waiting right now.
Damn. I don't know if you want to define it that way, NATO-like. It's something like NATO, but it ain't that, man. Quit trying to say this shit NATO. You already heard Putin. He not accepting no NATO deal. This shit gonna be something like NATO, but it ain't NATO. I'm trying to satisfy all parties here, man. Chill out.
Biggest people in Europe, and they want to give protection. They feel very strongly about it, and we'll help them out with that. I think it's very important. I think it's very important to get the deal done.
You've been involved with the peacekeeping.
See, that's the difference, Corey. Opinions are like assholes, but everybody does have one, but not everybody asshole work. You know what I'm saying? Some people got to get this shit out another way, if you know what I mean. And instead of starting them a platform and coming up here and talk, they want to come at my shit and tell me how to control my shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I gotta regulate. You right. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one, but not everybody use their asshole. You know what I'm saying?
In Ukraine, since your first day in the administration, what would you say to the Ukrainian people right now who are suffering under the Russian attacks and hoping that the American people will stand with them?
Well, I know Ukrainian people. I've known many over the years. They're great people. They're smart. They're energetic. They love their country. I mean, they love their country, and we want to get this war ended. That's all I can do. I love the Ukrainian people, but I love all people. I love the Russian people. I love them all. I want to get the war stopped. Very important.
Mr. President, was there any aspect of your discussion with Vladimir Putin that left you disappointed?
Look, we just spoke to,
Ty, it's not that I'm sensitive. I truly don't give a fuck, but it's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? When people come in here and they want to be seen and shit, I give them a little spectacle. I make fun on my laugh. I hee ha ha. I tell them like, hey, you're no longer invited over here. We have a community. We're having fun. This was a barbecue, you know, got to take a shoot. Now you're kicked out. You can't come back, at least not on that account. And you know what they do? They go get their second account and come right back in here because they feel like we still talking about them, not knowing that we just kept it going on. So I am an entertainer too, you know what I'm saying? This is content. I do got to entertain. So you step out of line, you know what I'm saying? I might just, you know, hee ha ha.
just telling the president, I just
No
spoke
hard
to President
feelings.
Putin indirectly, and we're going to have a phone call right after these meetings today. And we may or may not have a trilat. If we don't have a trilat, then the fighting continues. And if we do, we have a good chance. I think if we have a trilat, there's a good chance of maybe ending it. But he's expecting my call when we're finished with this meeting.
Straight up.
Thank you very much.
All right, man. Let me pause this bad boy. But yeah, you came back. I unblock everybody. After like every week or so, I go back and I unblock everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty much a fair guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fair guy. I think I am. Let's see what the hell Stephen A. Smith talking about. He talking about Trump, him and he on News Nation. They got Stephen A. Smith doing his damn rounds. They got Stephen A. on News Nation. Let's see what the hell Stephen A. talking about on News Nation right quick, Chad. Oh, it ain't no way. It ain't no way that it's some damn ads in here. Let me make that shit small and get on the YouTube premium account, Chad. Hold on. Ain't no way they got us on it. There's some ads in here, man. Ain't no damn way they got some ads in here.
You look fabulous in that suit.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, you look good.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, looks good.
I said to one that attacked you last time.
Yeah.
See, that was I remember.
Yeah, I apologize to you. You look wonderful. No, my first question for you, President Zelensky.
In the same suit. See, I changed you.
All right, let's bring in Stephen A. Smith. It's good to see you, my brother. I got to tell you, this really. How you doing? I'm okay,
Appreciate
man,
that,
but
Ty.
this bothers me. And I'll tell you why, man. This guy's got thousands of people dying every week in his country. Yeah. And this is the BS that the American media gives a damn about. And I believe this is authentic. Yeah. It matters more what he's wearing and why than whether or not that war ends in terms of our battle with one another here politically. How crazy is that?
Well, it's not crazy. It's predictable because what it shows is America's occasional selfishness. We care more about us than we give a damn about people who are dying in Ukraine. Some of us, anyway. And then the reason why I say something like that is because you're more concerned about what this man is wearing as opposed to what he's experiencing on a day-to-day basis because of a war that was instigated by Russia. And when you ignore what's going on in his nation to focus on something so frivolous, so trivial, it's a problem. Now, is it good that he wore a suit this time? Sure. You're showing up to the White House. It is the White House after all. You're a statesman and stuff like that. We get it. But we also shouldn't make a big deal if he doesn't. He's preoccupied with something far, far more serious and more vicious than showing up to the White House to have a conversation with the President of the United States, his surrogates, as well as the media itself. And it's unfortunate that we would even play into that, but it shows where our priorities lie. If we were experiencing war in real time,
that's Stephen A.
bombs, you know, having our schools bombed and our homes bombed and our businesses and our roads and our
y'all can't see him, huh?
just decimated. If we were going through that, we wouldn't be thinking about wearing a suit. We'd be thinking about taking off our jackets, our ties, and everything, rolling up our sleeves and doing what we had to do to deal with the situation. But apparently we forget about that when it comes to another nation, and that's unfortunate.
What do you make of the political calculation for the president to even have this ambition? This is a guy who campaigned on how
Why is it flipped upside down, Chad?
For America. He didn't get the Iraq War.
Why is
he didn't
it
even come away
flipped
with the
around?
oil. You can criticize his disposition towards these things, but he's been pretty consistent. And now he's putting a lot of capital, taking a lot of heat, trying to make peace in a place that he campaigned.
Hold on, Chad. I think I got this shit flipped around the wrong way. I had that shit flipped around the wrong way. Y'all was reading that shit backwards as hell. Man, I done flipped it all the way upside down. Hold on, chat. Y'all gotta know I'm new to this OBS shit still, man.
President Zelensky, you
That
look fabulous.
motherfucker upside down.
Yeah, you look good.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, looks good.
I said to one that
Hold on,
attacked you
Chad.
last time. See, now
Hold on, Chad.
President Zelensky, you look fabulous in that suit.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, you look good.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, looks good.
I said to one that attacked you last time.
Guy who campaigned on how stupid foreign involvements are for America. He didn't get the Iraq War because we didn't even come away with the oil. You can criticize his disposition towards these things, but he's been pretty consistent. And now he's putting a lot of capital, taking a lot of heat, trying to make peace in a place that he campaigned wanting to not deal with anymore. What do you think the upside is to him for this, and is it worth it?
Well, the first things first. The reality is, and excusing my language, he opened his mouth and deposited checks his ass can't cash. That's what it comes down to. You got to be able to end this war. You talked a lot of stuff about ending this war and how you would end it in one day. Now, we recognize that that's hyperbole. We understand that something like that is not going to end in one day. But the flip side is that he was proclaiming that he had such a relationship, you know, with the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, that, you know what, he could get him to do what others couldn't do. Well, okay, let's fast forward 6 months later. What do? You have a meeting with Putin on American soil, no big deal there. I'm not making a big deal of where the meeting was in Alaska. I don't care if it was in Russia or anywhere else. Who cares? What I care about is the fact that you promised a ceasefire or severe consequences before the meeting. And in the immediate aftermath of a meeting, there was no ceasefire agreement. And a matter of fact, you seemed damn near friendly towards him, acting like the meeting was productive. Well, where's the evidence? We don't see any as of yet. There hasn't been a ceasefire that's been achieved. They're talking about moving beyond that and having a peace agreement, which is far more lengthy, far more sustainable, et cetera, et cetera. Well, it's going to take some.
Y'all say the volume low? Hold on. I'm going to try to turn it up here.
Time to accomplish that, we understand that too. But in the time that it takes to accomplish that, what is Putin going to do? He's going to bomb Ukraine even more so. Chances are he's going to try to gain more territory. He's going to continue to kill more Ukrainians. That's the likelihood. So when we sit around and act like, you know what, this is a lengthy process, it's going to take some time, and it's antithetical to what he said and what kind of impression that he gave. And you combine that with the fact that, you know what, very little is getting done in terms of proof as to what the relationship truly is. If you've got that kind of relationship with Putin, he got a photo op, he got a chance to be on American soil, and he avoided having to agree to a ceasefire or anything else. So it was a pretty damn good day for Putin as far as we can tell.
Good day
and
for Putin.
It's just a good day for an authoritarian leader. How's that a good day for us?
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our news.
Damn. I guess it was just that clip that was low, because it got loud at the end, chat. It had to be just that clip that was low. Because it definitely got loud at the end.
We have former National Security Advisor for President Trump and former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, John Bolton, and CNN Chief National Affairs Correspondent Jeff Zeleny. Ambassador, what did you think of the meeting? Did you think that it went well, better than it could have gone for sure?
Well, I would say it was a normal meeting, which is progress. But remember what the iconic French Foreign Minister, the Marquis de Talleyrand, once told his young diplomats: don't get too enthusiastic in your work. And I've always found that good advice. They had a normal meeting. That's great. Now let's see what happens.
You, in an op-ed you wrote for the Wall Street Journal, talked about the silver lining being that a ceasefire not being reached in Alaska actually helps Ukraine. Help us understand why.
Well, I think a ceasefire along the existing front lines on the battlefield, then followed by what could well be very extensive negotiations lasting months, years, could turn that ceasefire line into the new Ukraine-Russia border. There's always a risk of that. It's happened in numerous other UN peacekeeping operations, in the case of Korea in the 1950s. So there's a big caveat to that, which to carry on the war, Ukraine still has to have necessary military support from Europe and the United States. It sounds, so far at least, like that could continue. I don't think the Russians are going to negotiate really seriously until they suffer reverses on the battlefield. Putin thinks he's on a roll now, and they are gaining small amounts of territory at an exorbitant human cost. I think if those the movement of the troops was in the other direction, he'd be a lot more eager to talk.
Can you help us understand, Jeff, how the White House, how President Trump sees Ukraine's land and what he believes Zelensky needs to cede to Russia? We saw the post where he said Crimea, basically said that Zelensky should give up any claim to Crimea, which was illegally annexed by Russia in 2014, and give up any desire or hope to join NATO. But of course, there's a lot more land besides Crimea in question here. How does he view that? Is it like a bargaining chip? What does he see?
Well, he certainly does not view the land in the way that President Zelensky does, or the people of Ukraine does. I mean, for President Trump, it's just something on a map that he's not that familiar with. It doesn't take that much interest in. But I think going into this meeting specifically by saying a no Crimea and a no in NATO, that is what was his kind of opening bargaining point here. I'm not sure he is that interested in the fine print of what specific part of the Donbass is going to a Russia, or if a Ukraine can hold on to. But I think that he is willing to, it sounded Friday like he is willing to effectively agree with President Putin's view of that. But I think one thing that strikes me in this, I mean, President Trump said he wants a trilateral meeting to come from this. Putin has never agreed to that. So I think after this meeting, President Trump said he's going to talk to Vladimir Putin. He said he's expecting my call. So if President Trump is able to coordinate a trilateral meeting that would happen sometime in the coming days or weeks, that would be significant. That's something that has not happened yet, of course, but I think it's important to point out that Putin has not agreed to the meeting, and he has insisted on effectively.
Do you think Putin will agree to the meeting? One's in the chat if you think Putin will agree. Two's in the chat if you do not think Putin will agree. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. We're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. Let's get 25 quick subs, man. Let's get to 29,700 tonight, man. Let's get 25 quick subs.
willing to buy more time. And so we'll see how quickly that meeting is scheduled. And in terms of crisis being averted, I think you make a very good point. It was a normal meeting. We have zero idea what's happening right now in the Oval Office or what is going to come up when the European leaders sort of join this.
Oh,
so I think it is very, very early on, probably at the first quarter of this very consequential day in the White House.
Ambassador, when you look at what's been reported about what is on the table regarding a potential peace deal, you're talking about some sort of security guarantees in the form of a reassurance force that President Trump, as you pointed out earlier, Jeff, would not rule out U.S. forces being a part of, even though he's been skeptical of it, expressed skepticism of it before. And then also this idea that there would be some kind of Article 5-like agreement between allies of Ukraine to intervene if Russia were to advance its incursions down the road. Is that actually enough to keep Vladimir Putin away from his ambition of remaking the Russian imperial order?
I think we're a long way from any of that. I can't wait till the MAGA base hears that Donald Trump has committed American combat forces, U.S. forces against Russian forces on the line in Ukraine if the Russians violate the ceasefire. One nuclear power directly against another nuclear power. I don't think that's what they signed up for with Donald Trump, and I don't think he's necessarily thought through that implication either. He wants a Nobel Peace Prize, and he wants it now. So he's willing to say a lot of things. He didn't really commit to anything. You could have all kinds of U.S. troops in Ukraine, as we did before the invasion. We had train and assist missions. They weren't there to fight anybody. They were there to train the Ukrainians. That's very different from a combat force. And in terms of Article 5, Steve Witkoff said this yesterday in an interview with Jake Tapper. I've listened to that portion of the interview several times. I don't understand it at all, because Witkoff started with Article 5 and then started talking about enshrining a Russian commitment not to take more territory in Ukraine, not to take any other territory in Europe in Russian law, which doesn't have anything to do with Article 5 or Article 5-like guarantees. Moreover, and I hate to raise this point, but the question of what Article 5 actually means in a non-NATO context, very much up in the air. And so you'll forgive me, I'll read 6 words from Article 5. That the parties, when one is attacked, it's one attack on one is an attack on all. What do? They are, quote, to take such action, each party, take such action as it deems necessary. As it deems necessary. And then it says, including the use of armed force, meaning you're not required to use armed force. You could, or you could send a note saying, that's terrible, do let us know how it turns out.
A lot of wiggle room there,
That's
as
right.
you point out.
Live now from Fox, I'm Andy Mack. Let's turn our attention to the top story of the day, and that being President Trump.
All right, man. We got through that part. That's crazy. They saying the Article 5 in a non-NATO context could be a wide range of things. Could mean that we send somebody over there. Could mean that we be like, hey, I'm sorry. Let me know how it goes, man. It's crazy.
All right, you guys. Property, my farmstead in Nebraska either. I have people to ask because I'm not there. One thing is definitely for certain, it looks like he is tired. We've definitely aged Emmanuel Macron. Look at these photos of him. He is going white. He's under a lot of pressure, likely from underneath his wife's extremely large hands. Bouf, bouf, Emmanuel.
Fair use.
Zut alors. But he also might be stressed. I gotta tell you guys this, because of course it's probably not gonna make its way into Western media, but he's not having a very great press cycle. The couple is just not, they're in a bit of a press rut, you could say. I feel like the worst thing that could possibly happen after you gloriously drop a 200-page lawsuit to try to convince the world that you guys really are not perverts is for your wife's cousin.
What's up, Sunset? I see you in here, Sunset. I hope you're having a good night, Sunset. Everybody double tap the screen, shut a live out. Let's get to 29,700 right quick. Let's get to 29,700. Yeah, like I was saying, that's what I was saying about the reporter. When the reporter asked about the mail-in voting during all of this shit, I'm like, damn, you got the French president here. Canada's got a story about it. You got Zelensky. He got war. You got all of the EU over here. Like, yeah, that's what I was saying. He get to asking about mail-in ballots, which that is important, but it's like, damn, bro, it's a lot going on right now.
Life to then get arrested and swept up in news, named as the suspect of having organized a pedophile ring in Africa. I kid you not. I kid you not. That is what is happening right now. Brigitte's cousin, a man named Pierre Roberts, I told you guys about him, I think, many moons ago. He was the nephew of the man who ran the Rotary Club with Brigitte's dad in Amiens. You know, Amiens' a weird place. It's a very special place, you guys. On the topic of pedophilia, there just seems to be a lot happening in Amiens. Anyways, her cousin Pierre, he's making headlines right now because he is swept up in this child sex trafficking ring that was going on in Africa. A very big ring, by the way, which included people intentionally inoculating victims with HIV. Okay? So a couple days ago, they arrested this 40-year-old. His name is Adrian B. And they're questioning him. They've been working on this for months. And it turns out that Brigitte's cousin Pierre is suspected as the instigator of the entire network. Okay? He's suspected of having organized and ordered the rapes of disadvantaged youth in Senegal and in Morocco. He did this, they are alleging, both for his personal pleasure, but also because he wanted to make videos of the abuse and share it within his pedo-criminal circles. Again, I'm not kidding. This is real. You can look this up in Le Parisien. You can look up Pierre Roberts. The affair has been exploding in France, and the network even includes people that are or were high up in the military. Last month, a former agent of the most confidential military unit in France got swept up in the affair. His name is Claude G. And it was allegedly he used his military contacts to set up the system throughout African countries. Totally normal stuff, right? I mean, does everybody have a cousin? No, not everybody has a cousin, a friend, a business partner, a family member that is constantly involved in pedocriminality. This is why I cannot listen to anyone that is trying to dress up what is happening in France as like, oh, a podcaster, Candace is just attacking Brigitte. Ew, no, get out of my face, okay? We're not letting this go. And maybe there's a scenario we get to ask Brigitte under oath questions about her big cuz, her cuzzo, or whatever. And by the way, now that we're speaking of Algeria and Morocco just keeps coming up all the time. Didn't Jean-Michel Trogneau sort of fall off the planet after he went down to Algeria and had this mysterious military file that they simply will not release to Xavier Poussard, even though they're required to release it? They've locked down that file. Yeah, a lot of stuff is starting to add up. Like I said, you always hear Algeria, Morocco, Northern Africa. The point is that Emmanuel Macron is here. He looks stressed. Ostensibly, he's here because the leaders are coming together to find peace, right? Finally, everybody's coming to the table after 3 years of murdering young Ukrainian men. We decided now that it's peace. Peace is our aim. And I hope you guys are now recognizing this as we go through the Epstein files, as we look at everything in the background of these characters, as we talk about that hand of Midas that just pulls up these cast of characters. I hope we can now all agree that this is just theater, okay? This is just what the elites do when their objectives have been reached. And what is their objective in Israel? Ethnic cleansing, right? They've gone masked down on that. What is the objective in Ukraine? That also appears to me to be a very obvious ethnic cleansing. And when they're done, when they're within, sight of their goals, they're like, it's time for peace. And then they applaud and they give somebody an award. Oh, just a peace award now that we're done with our initiatives. So pay close attention to whoever it is that they move into Ukraine after peace is struck. Gaza, but now they've kind of told us, what we're doing there. This has kind of been the exact same script, at least since World War I, likely even before then. And I think we all recognize that the person that has the most power over all of our nations, because we have been somewhat globalized, Bibi Netanyahu. Of course, he's the boss. He's the big boss, Bibi. And he's going to decide when and if and exactly at what moment these wars are going to be allowed to end. That's why I don't take any of this seriously. He holds the keys to the...
Man, double tap the screen, shut a live out, man. We are 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. If you think Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize, put yes in the chat. If you do not think he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize, put no in the chat. Let me see what y'all thinking.
Files, so to speak. That's why Israel always comes up in every story that you look at. By the way, like I said, I'm happy that they're at least done with the 2-year period of gaslighting us about Gaza. Like now Netanyahu's like, yeah, we're imperializing, we're going in there. It's always the same method. False flag attack justifies the war, and then there's this broader imperialist effort. And speaking of Boss Bibi, color me not shocked at all. In case you missed this over the weekend, about a week ago, it was reported that the police in Las Vegas put together a sting operation. Now, these sting operations all work the same. Usually they are online, police officers posing as children, pretending that to see if there are adults that are trying to solicit sex from children on the web. So they pretend that they're underage, that they're minors, and every time that they do this, everywhere, of course, they find sickos. There are always people that are looking for children. It's so sad that we live in this world. And this time, they caught and subsequently arrested a total of 8 perverts who were interested in luring minors on the web. And it turned out that one of those individuals was an Israeli who happened to be in town for a conference. As soon as he got in town for the conference, he starts looking on the web for a child. And that individual's name is Tom Artyom Alexandrovich. He has since deleted his LinkedIn profile. He's 39 years old. And of all things, you're not going to believe me. You're like, what does this guy do for a living? Well, he's a senior cyber official who works under Bibi Netanyahu's government. I'm not kidding. He is the division head at the National Cyber Directorate, which operates under Bibi's office. So this guy gets arrested. They book him at the Henderson Detention Center, and he makes bail. It was $10,000 of bail. But rather than await further charges, he does what they all do. He booked a flight back to Israel. Peace. Can't get me. Not on a boo-boo. No way to stop this. And of course, he's welcomed back because that's what they do. Like that's like a policy. You do something to a child in America, just get up, pack up, and go to Israel. He even lost his job. The cyber director instead issued a public statement saying that, yeah, Tom was detained while he was in the U.S. for matters that were unrelated to his work, and that we'll agree to put him on leave temporarily until we get this matter clarified or whatever. They don't really sound particularly outraged, and we can, of course, assume he ain't coming back, okay? That's how this works. Israel and child sex predators, it's kind of a thing. It always has been. Hence, Epstein. Oh, no, I can't believe I said that. I'm sorry. The Department of Justice has no idea if Epstein has ties to any other nations. They don't know. So how could we know if our Department of Justice doesn't know? Yeah, Trump isn't going to demand that individual comes back and faces any charges because he couldn't even muster the strength to look America in the face and say, yeah, Epstein was working for Israel.
How do y'all feel about Candace flipping the script on Trump, man? Press 1 if you agree with Candace flipping the script on Trump. Press 2 if you do not agree with Candace flipping the script on Trump, man.
Real. If he can't do that, why would we expect he's going to do the other thing, right? And what makes the Epstein story even more incredulous is, of course, first and foremost, the fact that he was an open child predator. Is the fact that he's been protected by so many countries, all of the leading countries, the United States, France, Israel, Ukraine, where he was running girls from. I mean, in case you don't remember the story of Virginia Giuffre, in and of itself was absolutely crazy. But again, these patterns are starting to emerge and we can recognize them. It's making me feel very disgusting that I ever engaged in fashion, modeling, Hollywood. Like, I haven't engaged in it, but the fact that, like, all of us look at this culture of models and fashion and Hollywood, and we saw it through we were starry-eyed. Oh, amazing. Look at this fashion designer, the clothes they're making. Look at this beautiful model. Look at Hollywood. That entire pipeline, you realize, it is starting. The picture that I'm seeing is that it's a ring. At least if you're looking up Jeffrey Epstein's story, there's no question about that. Anyways, Virginia, she was an American girl, as you guys know. She was born in Sacramento, California, but she grew up in Florida. The story goes that she was abused as a child by a family friend, and then she developed anorexia before running away from home. And as a runaway teenager, she's obviously the perfect, quote-unquote, modeling type. So what happens next is she then gets discovered on the street by this guy, Ron Eppinger. If you want to go down a dark hole, the fact that man is unbelievably protected by our government. But he's now dead. But he was the owner of a modeling agency, which turned out to just be another human trafficking front. The agency was called Perfect 10. He then makes Virginia his personal assistant, but, also gets her addicted to drugs. So she's 13 years old, just 13 years old. She becomes addicted to drugs, heroin, fentanyl, oxycodone, codeine, Vicodin, morphine, you name it. He was just pumping her filled with drugs. And then when she turns 14, he offers her to one of his wealthy clients, but then she gets lucky because the FBI swoops in and they arrest Ron for child prostitution and money laundering. Then she gets put into a treatment center in Lake Worth, Florida, which eventually had to close its doors because it was discovered that they were actually using these tactics of brainwash and torture and physical and sexual abuse on people that were trying to get clean. Somehow she makes it out of there with the help of her family members, and that's the next part of the story you may have heard. Her dad was working for Mar-a-Lago at the time. He then gets her a job working at Mar-a-Lago with him, except she's going to work as a masseuse. And I want to be super clear here. Virginia, in all the testimony that she has given, has never once accused President Donald Trump of anything. She was working there because her dad was working there. That's the story that she told, and she was naming names, so I tend to believe that. But it is true that while she was working there, she was then approached by Ghislaine Maxwell, who offered her a better job working for a wealthier man who was always in need of a masseuse. Yes, of course, I'm speaking about Jeffrey Epstein. At that time, she was just 15, but she kept a journal, and she recorded that Jeffrey and Ghislaine wanted her to, quote, be able to meet all of the needs of the men that they were going to send me to. They wanted me to produce things about them in addition to sex. They told me to pay attention to the details of what these men wanted so that I could report back to them, end quote. Years later, in 2015, under a sworn testimony, she claims that her actions were intended to compromise and to potentially blackmail targeted individuals, powerful men, of course, and that Epstein had allegedly told her that it was about, quote unquote, having something on them, making them indebted so that those individuals would then be in his pocket, Israel's pocket. Oh, sorry, we don't know that for a fact. But don't worry, there's no client list, so there's nothing to see here. In fact, Israel, in case you missed it, is the most moral army in the world. Say it with me. The most moral country, the most moral army in the whole wide world. If they wanted, they could just drop a nuke and kill everybody in a day, and they haven't done that. So much morality. I am overdosing on morality. It's like too much morality for us to even look at. And yeah, so much morality that they have to now effectively gaslight us about it, which is what I feel like is happening right now. Even in terms of what I tell you guys, like ChatGPT is just trying to get rid of history. It's just so obvious. Like, it lies about everything. All of these AI, Grok, they lie. And then when you say, hey, I actually know this fact, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I missed that in Robert Maxwell's approved biography, like things like that. But they're also kind of trying to pretend that they don't know the history of the Star of David. This is another one of these points that we're being gaslit about. This is why I'm reading so many books, because I'm recognizing that it's very weird. The fact that you have people that are running around wearing the Star of David and they have no idea what the history of that symbol is stunning to me. And I'm not even...
Here we go, chat. Double tap the screen, shut the live out. If you know what Candace is talking about right here, press 1. If you don't, press 2. I'm eating a jerk chicken wrap. This is a jerk chicken wrap from Smoothie King. I was a little hungry, man. But we are 25 subs away from the next sub goal, man. Double tap the screen and shut the live out, man.
I'm pointing the finger here because I was very ignorant for a very long time. You guys know I was a Zionist. I worked for PragerU. I had no idea because we are just fed slop through the public education system. Printing books that, Robert Maxwell had a stake in at one point, right? They're not even trying to hide that fact anymore, that the Star of David has nothing to do with biblical Judaism. So I am challenging you all to get educated about that. You could even look on Wikipedia. We showed you how the Zionists were infiltrating Wikipedia early on to make sure it had a Zionist bent. Even so, they tell the truth. They tell the truth on Wikipedia that the Star of David began being associated with Judaism in the 17th century. Okay, can you pull that up, Skylar? Like, and it tells you right there. It's a derivative of the Seal of Solomon. which was used for decoration and mystical purposes by Kabbalistic Jews and Muslims. Okay, people that worshipped the Kabbalah. It is a hexagram. It says its association as a distinctive symbol for Jewish people and their religion dates to the 17th century Prague. Okay, 17th century. That's very recent relative, right? That's actually quite recent, 17th century. And what happened, why that's actually super crucial, you can't wipe this away, yeah, it's all about the Kabbalah, is that there was a man who said that he was this reincarnated. He declared himself to be the long-awaited Jewish Messiah. This begins this period I've been telling you guys about, but you have to learn about Sabbatianism. And he says, I'm the Jewish Messiah, and people believed him. Actually, at that time, according to an Israeli historian, Gershom Scholem, half of the world's Jews in Europe converted and followed him, right? He was a Kabbalist. And they followed him, believing that it was true, that he was the Messiah, until he did this thing where they went, okay, maybe he's just crazy. He apostatized, converted to Islam. Okay, so you have this guy who's practicing the occult, he's practicing the Kabbalah, he says, I'm the Messiah, you have a bunch of people who believe him, but then many of them became disillusioned when he said, okay, never mind, to save his life, I'm converting to Islam, and this is a part of it. Like a part of this effort is he's teaching people that you gotta be a gypsy. You gotta become whatever you have to become to be able to amass power. Essentially, what I'm talking about here is theater. You gotta be a theater boy. You gotta lead people to believe you and to follow you. And this could explain, by the way, he did this in the year 1666. That, of course, also has significance, the 666. In 1666 is when this happened. And this kind of could...
Hey, look, Chad, who came here earlier and said something about the damn spiders? Because it's a little spider right there, and I just told y'all that I'd kill it with my hand. First one in the chat if y'all want to see me kill this spider with my hand. Too late. That motherfucker right there. Yeah, little spider, man. I told you, we'll kill a little spider and what I ain't.
Explain why it is. This is another part of history they're trying to wipe away. That the Moroccan flag had the Star of David. They keep telling you it's Jewish. Oh, really? Was Morocco a Jewish country? The Star of David. And you can see that, and this is still the dynasty that controls Morocco, where Morocco just keeps coming up in all of this, right?
Y'all thought I was bullshitting, didn't you? Y'all thought I wasn't gonna do it. That'd be the difference.
The Alawite dynasty, don't get me started on the Sunni, the Shiites, the...
Why I have to kill it? What else was I gonna do with it? It was a spider.
Alawite, which is pretty micro relative to what's happening, but look at the year that they take over in Morocco.
All right, so everybody in here that's talking mess about me killing that spider, the next time you get in your damn car, I want you to say a prayer for every gnat, bug, fly, insect that you hit with your damn car, truck, or SUV, man. Flies in the grill, y'all kill them and keep going. You don't think twice about it, but because I killed that spider that was inside my crib, in my home, y'all got something to say. Hypocrite.
1666. And reincarnation, which is unusual in terms of the Muslim faith. And you can see that they then mint the Star of David as their flag. Okay, that was the flag of Morocco from 1795 through to 1915. And people don't know that. Like, people are stunned when I say that. That has occult significance. So I am not shocked that Morocco just keeps coming up in all of these stories. You have to start there. Start in that period of 1660.
Melissa, you said, what do I believe with all this going on? I'm going to say this. I do believe a lot of history has been rewritten. A lot of, especially with the symbolism, a lot of symbols are taken on inside of their own groups. They do have different meanings. So, just in a grand scheme of things, I do think there is a group of powerful people that do want the world to go in certain directions. Now, I'm not going to say what group it is or who these individuals are, because I would be lying to say, oh, I know. Because, you know what I'm saying, I'm plugged. You know, I'm just a YouTuber with a little community. But I do believe that's going on. I do believe that a lot of the AI is making decisions. I believe when you put the AI with the quantum computing and you watch that D-Wave video from 2013 about the guy saying that there are multiple timelines and they're trying to figure out how to reach into those timelines and extract resources, when you break that down and think about it being 2013 when he said that, and now we're in 2025, a whole 12 years later, it make you wonder.
66, if you really want to know what's going on, you don't even have to know what's going on, right? It just all starts to make sense when you see these stories happening, when you understand what they did, like sort of violating these laws to show the world that there are no laws. Like, you know, you can sleep with your cousin, your brother, your niece, it doesn't matter, old, young. This was a part of the initiation practice. This is all real. This is history. You have it at your fingertips, and you better grab it. You genuinely better go pursue that history before they get rid of it, because that's the goal. That's like the final stop, and that's why we're reading so many of these books. We're learning about the origin of all of this. We're learning about this period of time they'd rather us really not know, because then you start to realize that you're being gaslit and that these people have been powerful for a very long time. But the only way that we're going to win at all is if people start getting properly educated and we all rinse ourselves of our public school understanding of all of these things. Like my husband says, everything is theology. Everything is theology. And so you'll be less shocked when something like that happens, when Jeffrey Epstein, everyone goes, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. It's totally fine. Or like Brigitte's cousin, oh, I don't know why that keeps happening around me. It'll start to make more sense when you understand the theology that's guiding everything. And that's all I'm going to say about that before I get to me having been exposed. Big way. Shocked. Crazy. First, I want to remind you guys about Preborn, because every heartbeat tells a story. And at Preborn, they give moms in crisis the.com, and you'll save promo code Candace. All right, you.
Sorry, Candace. I know you trying to get money and you promote what you promoting on. Y'all, this is Candace Owens' channel. Y'all be sure to go give her a subscription. But yeah, we just got monetized. We don't got no sponsors over here right now, Candace. I see you getting that money, but hey, if anybody want to, you know what I'm saying, get a little slide over here, holla at me, man. Double tap the screen, shut a live out.
Guys, now listen, people really don't like me out there. I don't know why. I feel like I'm really nice and I tell the truth, but the media obviously hates me all the time. But the most random beef I've ever been in is with this House in Habits person. Her real name is Jessica Reed Krause. I don't really know where she came from. I think she presented herself like a mommy blogger that was just into the Make America Healthy Again, RFK, push, what we all loved and believed in, obviously. We want our children to be healthy. But then, some crack started to show, and I don't know. I don't know why I'm always engaged in a beef with this individual, other than the fact that when she appears to have had too much to drink, I'm apparently the first person that she wants to text or think of or write about. Like, the drunk rage is aimed at me, like I'm an ex-boyfriend. I don't get it. I've never met this person. It started with Blake Lively. She genuinely thought that I was trying to steal her. I don't know. She covers pop culture. I guess nobody else was allowed to be interested, and she's texting her employees like she's trying to be me. This woman is like 50 plus years old and saying this. It's so ridiculous. And then it escalated into her threatening to release information pertaining to my secret family wealth. I mean, she's been heavily suggesting she was going to do it for months. She's like, just you wait, she says to the people that sign up for her newsletter, just you wait, and one day I'm going to expose what I know about Candace. Please expose it. I am desperate for someone to expose my secret family wealth. It just does not exist. I'm telling you, it doesn't exist. Anyways, she got swept up in the net of people who fell for the photoshopped tweet.
Nah, I'm not in Little Rock, man. Do y'all think Candace has some secret wealth? Do y'all think Candace has secret family wealth? Or do y'all think somebody just pumped some money into Candace? Or do y'all think Candace just genuinely, got it on her own?
Which claims that I had not one, but 24 properties all across the globe, $200 million worth of real estate. I promise you, if that was real, we wouldn't be filming this podcast in my basement. I promise you. I just there will be signs. I'm always being accused. Either they say I'm funded by Qatar. Now she's saying that I'm being funded by my husband's father, people all over the world, funded by Russia. No one can pick, but she apparently got very triggered when I said that, which is the truth, that we got an estimate for this case. We cannot afford $5 million on a lawsuit with the president, obviously. And people who said, I want to support, we said we want to give you something to support. You know, don't just give us free money. Buy a t-shirt on the website. She got triggered by this. Triggered. Then she said, that's it. I'm exposing Candace Owens. I've got the receipts. And boy, did she present the receipts. Her intro was essentially...
How much was Candace shit on her? Was it about $60?
These 3 slides, because it shows how committed to research she is. And the slide said, who is George Farmer? And she writes, Google it. And what is his net worth? 5 facts on Candace Owens' husband. So she's giving him the headline, telling people, Google it, and you're going to learn the truth about Candace and the secret wealth. Here's the next slide. She then said, unfortunately, my in-laws are not worth $200 million. Oh, okay, amazing. She actually sent this out in a newsletter on Sunday. She sent this out to people saying that this was real. And then as a third slide, she presents any money in the Krause family was hard-earned. So then she starts showing people that my father-in-law is a lord. And at that point, I realized what is happening here. I've realized that there are people who are daft enough to believe that England is still operating with a feudal system. So when they learn that somebody is a lord, they think that lands have been bequeathed by a king and a queen, and somebody is a lord, and beneath that person there are vassals and knights, and that will fight for the lord. Really what she thinks, because she's like, he's a lord. And I wonder if she also thinks that David Beckham, like the soccer player David Beckham, who was just knighted, he just became a knight, if she thinks that that means that when the king calls him, he has to suit up in armor. Show me the knighthood pic. I think she actually believes that what this means is that David Beckham will have to suit up in armor and go fight for the king. Like I've realized that is the IQ that is happening here, that she doesn't know that the House of Lords is the upper chamber of Parliament. Like, you know, Congress, if you will, the upper chamber is called the House of Lords. So that's what's happening there. Then she starts citing where she got the information about my 24 plus global properties in the world that is worth $200 million, which would be amazing if I had it. I promise you we wouldn't be in this basement and things would just look a lot better. There would be a lot of signs of that. And her source, I kid you not, was the Hindustan Times. Like the Times of Hindustan or whatever. And literally nothing in this article was true. It had the wrong birth date for my husband. It listed a place of work that we had never heard of until this morning. Didn't even get the right year for my husband's birthday. Didn't get his height right. They just disappeared 6 inches from his height, and I don't know what happened. She thought it was real. She took it, and I guess she's been saving this information for months and decided to reveal it. And I just had to take her through on my social media to just show people these are the people that we're supposed to be listening to or something. I can't believe that people actually ever paid, were subscribed to this person with a newsletter, somebody that is sourcing the Hindustan Times, who believes that land has been bequeathed, territory has been bequeathed to me and my husband through his father-in-law, who we don't take money from because we live our own lives here in America. It's completely insane. Also, my father-in-law didn't come from anything. It's one of the things that we have in common. He worked. Everybody can work. And I'm certainly working all the time. And my husband is certainly working all the time. But I just wanted to shut down that rumor for the last time, that if your source for my secret family wealth is the Hindustan Times, that's made up. It's all made up. Nothing on that site is real. Literally none of the information, not even how many kids I have on that site, is accurate. So I hope that we can officially shut that down. Please buy a t-shirt, and if I fall into $200 million, if the Qataris or the Russians pay me, I hope you trust me enough to know that I'll be the first person to tell you. Like, I want you to be happy for me if I get offered $200 million to say what I actually think. I'm out here doing this stuff for free. You know, I freely dislike Israel and think it's an occult nation. Nobody's paying me to say it. So if somebody offers me $200 million to say it, yes, of course, I'd love to get paid to say what I actually think. Russia, where are you at? I dislike for free. I think he's a welfare queen. Nobody paid me to say that, so I'm clearly missing out. So Russia, Qatar, or my family, I think they even said that I had they had property in Morocco, in Belgium. If any of that's true, please reach out. I'd like that. All that sounds really good to me. Anyways, you guys, I want to get into some of your comments because we covered some really important topics today as we get deeper into history. Also got to tell you a story tomorrow that's crazy, but we're still investigating it. But first, I'm going to tell you guys about Pure Talk because I know there have probably been many times that you've heard the phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That is great advice for most things, but not so much wins. All right, you guys, what is on your mind? Covered a lot of topics today. We scroll here. Jasmine writes, it sounds like a new Candace Cup to me. Which one? I don't know what you're talking about. The title today? Thank you for your contribution. Maybe the showgirl title. I'm not sure. We've got a lot of cup options. You guys can always submit them to us in the comments. We do actually.
All right, man. That's the end of that. All right, chat, man. Oh, we don't got no more clips for tonight, man. I'm going to open the phone lines up in case anybody want to call in and talk, man. If not, we just finna kick it for a minute before I get the fuck out of here, man. We had a nice episode, and we kicked it. You like her, Melissa? You say Candace for president. Yeah, that jerk chicken wrap was pretty good. It had some jerk chicken in there. The sauce really didn't taste jerk. It kind of tasted teriyaki. But I think it had some black beans, some rice, some romaine lettuce, some onions. It was pretty good. It damn sure was pretty good. Yeah. You say she want to talk about Big Mike. Crazy. So how do y'all feel about everything, Chad? Do y'all feel like America will end up putting boots on the ground over there? Oh, I'm in Texas right now, Flatbed. I'm from Arkansas, but I'm currently in Texas. I wanted to go live earlier today, Chad, but I uploaded a video. Nobody really watched my video. Nobody ever watches my videos. Y'all always show up for the live streams, but when it comes to my videos, y'all just don't give a damn. Y'all don't give a damn. I posted a video earlier than people calling DeSantis a PDF. Y'all did not care.
From.
What's going on, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Todd Miller. How are you, bro?
I'm doing all right. What's up, Todd?
Nothing. I just wanted to compliment you in a way. I don't agree with everything you say. However, I have watched you grow in the last few weeks and months, and you're figuring it out, and I think you're going to have an excellent podcast, and I think you're going to make yourself some bang, dude.
Man, I appreciate you for calling in, Todd. That means a lot, man. I sure appreciate it, man.
I really hope you do, and try not to ban me too much, okay?
Nah, I got you, man. Like I said, sometimes it's the mods, but I do try to go back and unblock everybody at the end of the week.
I understand, bro. I get it. Some of the people you got on here just like, shit, bro, I don't know if you're conservative or liberal. I think you're kind of moderate, if you want to know the truth.
Nah, correct. They say, they call me a centrist.
I think you kind of look at things from one side and the other, so what does that mean? That means you're a thinking man, and I appreciate it. So I just thought I'd call and give you a couple props, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to meet you and say, stay with it, because I think you're going to do well. Stay with it. You're doing a good job, and you need to do a little more advertising for your website. You get me? You need to promote yourself a little more and get your audience a little bigger. But I think you're going to be just fine. So I wish you the best, my friend, and yeah, give me a shout out. What the fuck, you know what I mean?
I got you, man. Shout out to you, Ty, man. You have a good night. I appreciate you for calling in, man.
You take care of yourself now and be safe out there.
All right, you as well. Yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. That support means a lot to me. Really, it really does. It does mean a lot. We've been grinding this out for a year, man. But no, I do try to look at it from both sides because I feel like being a true leader, like as any of these world leaders we saw today, you have to kind of look at it from both sides. Just being a blind leader never gets anybody anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to look at it from both sides. Whether you agree with it or whether you disagree with it, you gotta look at the other side to kind of figure out why you disagree with it. A lot of people just, you know, they steadfast in their ground, like, okay, I don't agree with this. Why don't you agree with it? And they have nothing else after that. Or they'll be like, oh, I'm for this, and then you're like, okay, kind of, why are you for that? And it's nothing else after that. So I kind of try to see it from both ways because you'll never be able to please. You have to be able to disappoint people as well as a leader. That's what I see Trump doing a lot of, is disappointing people. Like, Trump doesn't have a problem disappointing people. Like, you have to as a leader or you'll end up being a people pleaser and you'll never get anything done. That's where you see like a lot of holdups coming through over time, you know, like through politics. A lot of people didn't want to move. Trump came in and he kind of he didn't care about disappointing people, you know. So it's a different change. It's a dramatic change, but I understand. You know what I'm saying? Do I agree with everything? No, but I understand that, like, shit, that's what's going on. As when you take leadership courses and you understand this shit, Trump's not being a people pleaser. He gonna piss off some people, but is it for the betterment of the country? I'm not here to decide that. You know, I would like to hope it is. I would like to think it is, but some of this shit's not looking like it. But as a leader, you know, that's what has to happen. That's what has to happen. Too much people pleasing had been going on for a long time, so I do agree with some things had to happen. The border had to be shut down. Do I agree with the way he's handling it? Not all the way. You know, a lot of people are getting snatched off the street. That's kind of just stop and frisk and shit like that. It gets really tricky. People driving for DoorDash and, you know, getting self-deporting on accident when, you know, shit like that, man. It's crazy, but something had to be done. If we talking about, you talking about it's not for the betterment of the country, a lot of stuff may not be, you know. Like I say, it does look like the Constitution is under attack, you know what I'm saying? They playing the fine lines with the Constitution. Some people say they stepping all over the Constitution, don't care. I tend to think they're running this shit through AI, bro. I honestly think they're putting it through, like when they want an initiative or they want to get something done, I think they put it in the AI, what they want to get done and how they can potentially legally get around it. And they move forward on it. That's what I think's happening, allegedly, you know. And I think we'll see a lot more of it, you know, like with the Trump, with the AI pictures. Now we see Gavin Newsom posting AI pictures, you know, it's kind of a back and forth. And shit, I think we're headed into a crazy time. I think we're headed into a crazy time. So, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying, Dustin. They have been doing it for years without AI, but you throw AI into the mix and it's like, it's a lot different. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot different. Especially when it's not only do you have AI in the mix, you got somebody who will actually pull the trigger. See, that's the difference. You can have all the AI in the world to figure out how to get this and that done and not do it. You gotta have somebody that's willing to actually take action, that's willing to, you know, call down to Texas and say, hey, I need 5 more seats. You gotta have somebody that's willing to put that phone on there to pick up that phone call. See, a lot of people probably could have done this. We've seen other candidates come out and say, oh, if I would have done this, y'all would have said that. Or, oh, if I would have done that, y'all would have said this. Meaning, they probably thought about it, but they ain't want to do it. See, you gotta have somebody who's willing to do it as well. It's not just about having the information and figuring it out. You gotta have somebody that's just gonna say, fuck it. Let's try it. Let's give it a shot. Shit, they ran across the right one with bulletproof. Because one thing about it, what are they saying? Yeah, they got a new title. They calling them what? Sloppers. Sloppers, people who rely on AI for everything. They're calling them sloppers, right? But in the same breath, you got people calling other individuals low IQ. But in the same breath, you got Sam Altman saying, the CEO of OpenAI, the world, quote unquote, world leader of AI technology, saying that these children will never be smarter than AI. So, if you want high IQ shit going on, and you got the world leader in AI who just got a $500 billion initiative, quote unquote $5 trillion initiative maybe, saying that these children will never be smarter than AI, why do we think it's so far-fetched that they running these decisions through AI? We just had Grok get a contracted out with the Department of Defense. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't that be the right thing? Don't Trump say he hires smart people? Well, if AI is operating tenfold of what human is, wouldn't it just make sense? At that point, if they're not doing it, it's damn near almost like a pride or an ego thing. Like, why wouldn't they be running these decisions through AI chat? Like, have y'all ever thought about that? Like, why wouldn't they do it? Oh, because AI is bad. Has that stopped them from doing anything else with AI? Oh, because they're real. No, y'all give me a reason of why they're not using AI to make these decisions, and watch me shoot them down one by one. Somebody call in or somebody type in the chat on why the U.S. is not using AI to make these decisions. And I'm going to shoot them down. I'm going to walk them down. You think security is the reason they wouldn't be using it? Can't be security. They got Grok in the Department of Defense. Politics, shit, they using AI photos as propaganda. We don't need to rely on it. They said doctors are having 20% less success rate diagnosing on their own now, because diagnosing things on their own now because they've been using AI so much. You said, why would they if it's their own program? Because they have Constitution that they have to get around, and they need to get around it in the most efficient and effective way. To push forward agendas. See, that's the thing. Like, when you get to putting quantum computing with AI and shit, things get to looking real spooky. Like, I was watching a guy on D-Wave talk about it. He was like, it's like with the quantum computing, it's like being able to analyze everything on the internet, like seeing everything. It's like how we're on the internet, it's like being able to have an aerial view of everything that was ever put on the internet and getting a split second, or being able to run millions of simulations in a split second and getting the best possible outcome. Like, that's some powerful shit. That's some powerful shit. Then they talking about Japan just cracked the internet. They got bandwidth. They got Wi-Fi speeds to where they could download the whole Netflix library in under a second. Elon Musk said what years ago? Once he solves the bandwidth problem, he'll be able to roll out Neuralink commercially. It was just a bandwidth problem. It looks like them people over there in Japan just solved the bandwidth problem. They running on some shit that's like faster than 10G. Download the whole Netflix library in under a second. Elon said he needed the bandwidth solved to roll out the Neuralink. Say the Neuralink's supposed to cost like what, 5,000-10,000. He's trying to make it affordable. Eventually, I think they're trying to get it down to 1,000. It's crazy. Then I seen Volkswagen talking about you gonna have to pay a monthly subscription for your car to go top speed. You mean to tell me if I'm paying a car note on this car and I still gotta pay you, Volkswagen, $20 a month, or my car not gonna go past 55? My car not gonna go past 75. Think about it. They only let you go 55 unless you pay that 20 a month. Your ass better not think about going out of state, getting on the interstate if you ain't got that $20 for the month to unlock your top speed. Man, don't piss me off, Volkswagen. Don't piss me off, Volkswagen. Yeah, I seen Japan got walking past on the sidewalks. Yeah, they use electricity. I did see that. Like when you step on it, it absorbs the kinetic energy to help power their grid. I did see that. Japan next level for that. I also seen they said China got energy centers. It's crazy. They say China winning the AI race right now not because they're leading in AI, but because they got so much energy. They say our energy grid is rocky as hell. And China's data centers are using energy because they have excess. Basically saying if China didn't have data centers, they would have too much energy. They keep 80% energy reserves while we only have about 15. You heard BMW charges people to use their heated seats. Oh man, I'm fucked up. I know I'd be mad as a motherfucker, man. I gotta pay $20 a month to go 70 miles an hour. Take me back to the 90s. Take me back to the early 2000s. $20 to drive your damn car. You mean to tell me I gotta pay $240 a year to get top speed on the car I paid for? Don't piss me off, Volkswagen. Don't piss me off, Volkswagen. It's crazy, bro. We went from having electric cars and saving energy. Now we got driverless taxis and fucking $20 bills to drive top speed. 2025 is not it, Chad. It is not it. We one sub away from 29,700. Man, can we get one subscriber The next subscriber will be the 29,700 subscriber, man. Can we get one of those, man? Can we get one of those? Just one. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. We do go live every single night over here talking entertainment, politics, and current events, man. We 25 subs away from the next sub goal. But right now, I'm just asking for one. Yeah, Texas just made it to where you don't got to get an inspection no more. You said California strict on smog checks. Yeah, Texas just did away with their inspections in January. It's crazy, man. Did y'all see the guy they said was an illegal immigrant that got his CDL in Cali and did that illegal U-turn? I think he was in Cali, but he did that illegal U-turn at the like official use only turn. He tried to basically hit a U-turn in a semi-truck, and somebody ran into his trailer, and he didn't act sad or nothing. It looked like he didn't give a fuck. It looked like he didn't give a fuck. I did a video on it. I think it's gonna post tomorrow. What else happened? Oh yeah, I seen Tom McDonald diss Gavin Newsom. I seen Tom McDonald diss Gavin Newsom. It's crazy work. Man, we coming up on 30K chat. All of my OGs in the chat, y'all remember when I had like, I think when I posted my first video, I think I already had like 100 subscribers. I had shared my link out to everybody on like my Facebook and shit, and Instagram, and my text contacts. And I think I had like 100 subscribers, and now we finna hit 30K. A little over a year later. May made a year. June, July, August. So yeah, we like 15 months in. We finna hit 30K. 30K, a whole lot of live streams later, a whole lot of videos later. It's crazy. Appreciate you, OG Yosemite. We finna hit 30K, man. But yeah, chat. I don't got much going, man. The phone line's open if somebody want to call in, man. I was going to hang out for a little minute, but I really don't got much going. Get my damn tray. Tato, what's up? Didn't California pass something? What did California pass? Oh, they said we not getting the stimulus checks too. The IRS said that we are not getting the stimulus checks. The ones they was talking about $1,400, $13, whatever. Yeah, they said the IRS said that's not coming. You can see when everybody was getting those stimulus checks, chat, I was locked up. I was locked up. But yeah, chat, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of blew me Cause y'all know that I completed all my probation and I'm getting my gun rights back and my voter rights back and shit, but they messed up on my paperwork and on my sentencing order. They checked the box to where like, no, this can't be sealed. But it's like in Arkansas, the charges that I had don't even carry nothing like, no, this can't be sealed. So they talking about it was most likely a clerical error. So now I gotta have my lawyer filed or whatever to see why they checked the box do not seal. I mean, do not allow or whatever be sealed, because in Arkansas you gotta have, it gotta be a violent crime, it gotta carry over 10 years, or it gotta be a A, B, or Y felony. My shit was none of those, so I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they did that. But I talked to him today. He said he gonna work on it for me, see what's going on. It's crazy. Got these folks all this time, man. Completed everything, and I'm still trying to, you know what I mean? My mic very low. Yeah, I'm talking low. This the part of the show where I get to talking a little low, bro. It's the part of the show where I get to talking a little low. I'll turn the mic up for you, though. Telling y'all, you know, the shit I deal with. Like, I'm a real person, too. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm on the internet a lot throughout these different platforms, but I am a real person, too. I go through regular shit, too. I go through regular shit too. Got twins, man. They just started school. It's like shit, I go through regular shit too. He said it's the part where I used to fall asleep. Yeah. But you know, I used to go live at like 6 o'clock back then, Carlos. You gotta remember, back then when I was going to sleep, I was going live at like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? So by the time we hit 1 o'clock midnight, I had already been live for 4 or 5 hours. 6, 7 hours sometimes. Appreciate you, Lady Wiser. Yeah, I cut the volume up a little bit, man. But yeah, chat. It's crazy. I don't know, man. Oh yeah, prayers for the people that's preparing for the hurricane. I did say that that they were evacuating some people earlier from the East Coast. What cities did they evacuate? What city did they evacuate? I think I had seen it. I can look it up right quick. Hurricane Erin, a Category 4 storm, is currently moving northward in the Atlantic Ocean, posing a significant threat to the East Coast, not being expected to make direct landfall. As a result, mandatory evacuations have been ordered for vulnerable coastal areas. In North Carolina, mandatory evacuation orders in effect for all visitors to Ocracoke and Hatteras Islands, with the order taking effect Tuesday. The entire Outer Bank region of North Carolina is being evacuated due to the risk of 20-foot waves, coastal flooding, and the potential for Highway 12 to become impassable. Officials in Hyde County have declared a state of emergency for the island, warning that emergency services may not be available if the road is cut off. Dare County has also declared a state of emergency for the entire county due to the storm's vast size, with tropical storm force winds exceeding 230 miles from its center, and the system nearing 600 miles wide means impacts will be felt far beyond the immediate coastline. Damn, Chad. Damn, Chad. Let me cut this fan up. That shit crazy. 230 miles. It says the system is nearing 600 miles wide, meaning its impact will be felt far beyond the immediate coastline. This has led to a storm surge watch being issued for North Carolina's Outer Banks. While the storm is expected to remain offshore, its powerful winds and swells are generating hazardous surf and dangerous ripcord currents from Florida to New England, prompting beach closures and warnings against swimming. The National Weather Service has warned these rip currents will intensify through midweek, even under sunny skies, and are one of the deadliest coastal hazards. So from Florida to New York, your ass don't need to be in that water. From Florida to New York. Damn. Sound like some great surfing. Surf your ass out to the Bermuda Triangle. That's what they saying. This shit might pull your ass out to the Bermuda Triangle. Shit, it ain't funny, but that, I'll leave that water alone. I'll leave it the hell alone. I wonder if they're gonna get the money out there to them quick enough, if they're gonna get out there to help them fast enough, if they have to rebuild. But yeah, we finna get up out of here, chat, man. It's 12:30, and I'm gonna call it a night, chat. I'm finna look around. You know what I mean? Finish my allegedly. I'ma look around, twiddle my toes, close my eyes, and I'll see y'all on the next one, chat. Y'all have a good night.